This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from Miller Park in Milwaukee, game number 2 of the 2019 regular season. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. Jim Hayes is here. That's Brad Thompson. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us on this Friday night as we get you set for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Freddie Peralta will go tonight for the Milwaukee Brewers and for the St. Louis Cardinals. He was sensational a year ago. That's Jack Flaherty. And Brad, let's take a look at the effectiveness of Jack. Inside fastballs, also that devastating slider.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jack Flaherty, unlike a lot of young guys in this league, has no problem going inside on righties, on lefties. And you know what that does when you're able to establish the inner part of the plate? Well, it makes this even nastier. Sets up the slider. The slider you see there, 85 of his 182 punch-outs on that pitch. It is flat out nasty.
Something we saw in game number 1, really the theme around Major League Baseball and the opening day. Long balls, plenty of them. How about in game number 2? We're about to find out. Baseball coming up. Number 2 from Milwaukee. Game 1, home runs aplenty. That was the theme around Major League Baseball and opening day. Can't wait for it. First pitch, lineups comes your way next. It's presented by TD Ameritrade. Roof is closed. Miller Park in Milwaukee. Jim Hayes, Brad Thompson, Dan McLaughlin here in the booth. 68 degrees inside, and there's a look at Mike Schilt. This will be his first full season as the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals. His lineup the same as we saw yesterday in game 1 of this regular season. Carpenter at the top, then Goldschmidt, DeYoung, Ozuna, Molina, Fowler, Wong, Bader, and Flaherty. And the Cardinals will face a right-hander that went 6-4 last year. Freddie Peralta, very good a season ago, especially here at Miller Park.
Oh, no doubt about it. Freddie Peralta is one of those young arms that the organization is very high on. They had the opportunity, could have gone out and got some guys, but they trust in their young ones.
And the first pitch taken for a ball up and in by Carpenter. He was hitless yesterday. The top of the lineup for the Cardinals was quiet. The bottom of the lineup, though, boy, they were loud. A lot of damage. Colt Wong, couple of home runs. Bader, home run. Those two went back-to-back. Bader had a couple of hits. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, top 3 in the order yesterday went over. That is something that you can expect not to last for very long. You've got a lot of guys with track records there and a lot of firepower at the top of the order for the Cardinals.
Inside, and it's 3-0. Hyundai pitch arsenal. What does he possess?
Well, I'll tell you what, you see the 78% fastball there, and his slider is his secondary pitch, but his fastball is a cutter. I mean, it's got a lot of movement to it. He's got a couple of grips. He's got one regular 4-seam. You saw it there, 92 mile an hour, and he has another one where he offsets it a tiny bit. And this thing can run like a foot, and it's still going 90 to 93. Freddie Peralta is not a comfortable at bat.
Shift on the right side, and the 3-1. Take it for a ball, and a leadoff walk issued to Matt Carpenter. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Braun Kane with the fabulous catch in center to end the ball game yesterday, and then Yelich in right. Shaw, Arcia, Moustakas, Aguilar on the infield. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Here's Paul Goldschmidt, made his official Cardinals debut yesterday. Shift on the left side, and that pitch taken for a ball. Calling the balls and strikes tonight, Marvin Hudson. It was really a big zone, as we saw on both sides yesterday.
Yeah, it really was. And Paul Goldschmidt was the victim a couple of times with home plate umpire Gary Cederstrom yesterday on the inner half, a couple on the outer half as well. But you know this, that guy can get hot in a hurry.
There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Goldschmidt hitless, did draw a walk late. Brewers mentioned they shifted an awful lot in game one. They feel they'll be able to do that with the range of their shortstop Arcia. The pitch taken low and away.
This is going to be one of the biggest keys for the Cardinals offense against Freddie Peralta. He does like to throw his fastball a lot, but he is around the zone a lot. With the movement that he has, he can have success when he falls behind, but going to make him work, especially in a game like today. Maybe get into their bullpen. There will be some question marks later in this game, the way that their pen was utilized yesterday.
And the 2-1 pitch now to Goldschmidt. Ripped foul just past Ron Popwarner, one of the new look coaching staff for the Cardinals. Ron, a longtime Cardinal, if you will, in the minor leagues as a player and then a coach, manager. There's Pop. Where's number 75? And then on the other side, Stubby Clapp, first base coach for St. Louis. Back-to-back championships at Memphis. 2-2 the count. And the next two, Goldschmidt. Ripped foul again. We saw yesterday that the Brewers really tried, their Stubby Clapp, to go inside on Goldschmidt. And we also saw that in the games that we were doing in spring training. Teams are trying to do that at the end, and they got burned.
Yeah, oh, for sure. You saw his bat speed up, especially at the end of spring training, getting in the swing of things. The thing about Goldschmidt, he covers the other way so well. He's got big time power to the right center field gap. But if you leave something over the plate inside, he can definitely hurt it. He can turn and burn. You saw a little bit of it right there.
So the center fielder, Kane, shades him a bit to right center, and then the infield playing him to pull. 2-2 the count, short lead at first. Foul back.
The shift obviously just all goes back to tendencies. You have a guy like Paul Goldschmidt who has a tendency to pull on the ground, especially late in counts. He goes the other way in the air very well. And we saw Lorenzo Cain shade Martinez last night. Made a pretty decent play.
I would say so.
If you like that sort of thing.
Not from a Cardinal fan's perspective.
Hated it.
And the 2-2 again. Pulled foul. And the thing is, if you are someone that studies the game very hard and you get into sabermetrics, Lorenzo Cain grades very high defensive runs saved, and yet has not won a Gold Glove. And there's the second time in as many years Lorenzo Cain has made that type of play against the Cardinals, scaling the wall and taking a home run away.
Yeah, he is very good. Got great instincts out there. Was edged out in the Gold Glove. Ender Inciarte ended up winning that one. Billy Hamilton was a finalist as well.
The 2-2 that may make it to the upper deck here at Miller Park, and it will. Well, there it is. Center fielders last year, defensive run saved. And there's Cain, and this is all of baseball. Inciarte, Kevin Kiermaier, and it's interesting to see Harrison Bader on that list with limited time. He's got 11.
It's another guy that we're going to be talking about in the future with Gold Glove potential. Already has the potential. I think that you'll see him get the hardware.
Bader 138 games last year, so give him a full season of, let's say, 150, 155, and he may win a Gold Glove.
And right now I think he's just a lot of raw talent. He's going to learn to play the position more and more, get better and better.
The 2-2 taken high, and this is a really good at bat. You just get the feeling he's seeing the ball well. It's a kind of at bat, you know, you watch it and you think, uh-oh, is he locked in here? If you're Milwaukee.
Oh, no doubt. And making Freddie Peralta work early on. He's already got 14 pitches. It's been a long at bat already. It's a great start for the Cardinals offense.
Pitch number 15 right here in this inning. Runner goes, and Goldschmidt hits a drive out to deep left. It's at the wall. How about number 1? It is gone! It's gone! Goldschmidt, his first as a Cardinal, and you could see that baby coming. You're gonna love him in St. Louis. 2-0, Redbirds. His first as a St. Louis Cardinal. And what an at-bat by Paul Goldschmidt.
Paul Goldschmidt battles, fouls him off, pitch after pitch, saw the entire arsenal that Peralta has, and he gets himself that fastball. Have seen like 3 in that location that he wasn't able to keep fair. Gets the hands in really well on this one, gets the barrel to it. And that is the first of many that Paul Goldschmidt is going to hit in a Cardinals uniform.
You could just see it coming, couldn't you? High, towering drive by the Cardinal first baseman, his first as a Cardinal, and it's 2-0 St. Louis.
Freddie Peralta went to the well one too many times there on the inner half. You just talked about the fact that that's how teams are trying to attack him, or were late in spring, as you see that one gets a piece of Paul DeYoung there. Cardinals got something going again. Freddie Peralta missing a lot on the arm side. Usually when he's at his best, he's able to locate on the outer half. You see that thing just fly out of his hands, just get a little piece of Paul DeYoung there.
Brings in left fielder Marcell Ozuna. 2-0 Cardinals in already 18 pitches here in the first inning. Ozuna did have a base hit in game 1. Room on the right side of the infield. Tries to take it that way. Peralta to second. Out there to turn, and not in time. Threw it away, but backing up the catcher, Yasmani Grandal. And that's the first out. You know, something to keep in mind in this game for the Brewers, and this is not the kind of start, clearly, that they wanted. But Hader, those are the boos for Yadier Molina. Josh Hader was terrific yesterday, but he went 2 innings, and the Brewers get news today that Corey Knebel will have Tommy John surgery. That's official, so his season is over. And, you know, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. Where do they turn to in the back end of their games? And where are the innings in that bullpen going to come from? And that's something that could play a factor not only today, but tomorrow. Now you got to figure that Hader is off limits today, but right now you're looking at 20 pitches already in the first inning, and that's something that if you're a manager you got to be thinking about.
No doubt about it. And I think that we're asking these questions. I would think that Craig Counsell's probably asking the same ones. He's going to have to figure out who in that pen he can trust. It was kind of plug and play for him last year. He was able to go to Jeffress. He was able to go to Hader. He was able to go to Knebel. And you knew that he was going to be okay. We were talking about this yesterday with Yoeli Chacín on the mound. Chacín started 35 games for them last year, but he didn't hit the 200-inning threshold because they were able to get him out of there early and knew exactly who they could go to. Some guys in this bullpen are going to have to emerge.
The 2-0 pitch to Molina. Made his 15th straight opening day start yesterday. A model of consistency and greatness, that position for the Cardinals, and he went 0 for 4 in that opening day.
Well, you have been around Yadi quite some time. I have been around Yadi quite some time, and I realize that as far as baseball age, maybe he's getting up there a little bit. He looks like he's having as much fun this year as I've ever seen him.
And he shoots that out to left center, and that ball is down. One hops off the wall. Racing to third. Ozuna touches the bag. Relayed to the plate. He is safe as he touches with the hand. Yadi picks up his first hit. Drives in a run. And it's 3-0 St. Louis here in the top of the first. Cardinals catch a break. as that ball did not scoot over the wall and turn into a ground rule double, and Ozuna wasted no time scampering around the bases.
Well, this is the kind of start that the St. Louis Cardinals offense can get off to. You see Yachty here just get that fastball down the middle, drives it in the gap. Ozuna turns on the afterburners, moving pretty good right here to get it in all the way from first. And a nice little cushion right there.
Shift on the right side now for Dexter Fowler, and still only one out. Molina, your runner at second base. 3-0 Cardinals. Very good start before even Jack Flaherty throws his first pitch. And that pitch is strike. So Moustakas behind the bag, and then the shortstop Arcia in shallow right, and Aguilar is back near the line at first base. Outside, and it's 1-1. And the next two, Fowler.
Cardinals just doing a very good job here of being patient, making him come to them. We've already seen a couple of at-bats for a couple foul balls. And then find something that you can drive.
The 2-1 pitch to the Cardinal right fielder. Fights it off and out of play. 2-2.
Dexter had a very good at bat yesterday. Started in the hole, 2 strikes, ended up working a big walk. Colton Wong ended up following that with a home run. Be nice for Dexter though to get off to that good start, get a little momentum going.
The 2-2 pitch. Nearly hit him. Jack Flaherty gets 3 or more runs of support, at least a year ago, was outstanding. The numbers bear that out. We'll see if that trend will continue here in 2019. Runner at second is Molina, and the 3-2 pitch to Fowler. Outside corner, missed. The second walk in the inning. He's also hit a man, and the pitch count at 29. It brings in Colton Wong. We turn to Brad Thompson's Toyota, key to the game.
Well, we've seen a little bit of it already from the Cardinals. Step on the gas. Freddie Peralta throws a lot of fastballs. You're going to get some in the zone. Take advantage of it. We saw Paul Goldschmidt foul off a bunch of pitches. Get that heater on the inner half. Home run. Yadier Molina got that fastball down the middle. Drove it in the gap. RBI double. Stepping on the gas is going to be big for the Cardinals today while Freddie Peralta's in there.
Mound visits this year reduced from 6 to 5, and this is already in the first inning, number 2. So they've got long ways to go, but they've got 3 left.
Yes, yeah, and it really is something. It's another game within the game, and as a catcher, you got to be able to know how to settle your guy down, how to make little adjustments and give him pointers, but without going out there. A lot of nonverbal things have to go on, but it is something that you have to keep an eye on throughout the ball game now. We've talked about their bullpen, how the back end of it sets up. One thing that they do have is a long man. Chase Anderson ended up not making the rotation for them, so if you need to get a bulk of innings, I mean, he was stretched out as a starter during spring training. As you see Anderson warming up now, he can definitely give you some innings.
Here's Colton Wong, runners at first and second. Wong with 2 home runs opening day, and then was pinch hit for with Hader on the mound and dominating the Cardinals. He was just going right through him, and then Jose Martinez sent one to the wall, and Lorenzo Cain, the game-saving catch. The 1-1 pitch. 1-2. Talking with Colton Wong at dinner briefly last night, he said, well, my relationship with Mike Schilt is something I really believe is going to help me. A guy that believes in me, plays me when I'm down, when I'm going well. That's tapped foul, and you saw Molina actually start running to third, but you got to make sure you're going to get there, and then the responsibility of that runner at first is to make sure that the runner in front of you has a good jump, or you're in trouble.
It's not going to work. Yeah,
right.
You don't want to run yourself out of an inning. But that relationship that you're talking about, that trust factor, that back and forth, that communication, it's incredibly important. It's important for young players, for veteran players, everybody in between.
A swing and a miss. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. And the first strikeout for Peralta. Kubota power stats and home runs. Wong, Bader, back-to-back home runs. Opening day, first time ever. I found this shocking. First time ever in franchise history, in the long history of the St. Louis Cardinals. And now Bader. And it was fastballs that Bader got from Chacin, and we talk so much about his slider and the fact that he throws it so much, and that's the pitch that Bader's got to improve upon, but yet he got fastballs yesterday.
I think it was kind of a tendency thing too, hitting where Bader is in the order. He got to see how Chacin was attacking, and yesterday in the ball game, especially early on, he was throwing that fastball to get ahead and then working the slider off of it. And Harrison Bader said, forget that, I'm not waiting for the slider. I'm jumping on a heater. He hit the home run, also crushed another one to left field on a slider, by the way. So he ended up staying on that pitch as well.
Catches the corner, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitcher, Jack Flaherty, on deck. First base umpire is Adrian Johnson. When Wolcott at second, Gary Cedarstrom, who was behind the plate yesterday, is down at third. He's also the crew chief. And as we mentioned, that Marvin Hudson is behind the plate. Runners at first and second. And the 2-2 pitch to Bader. He got him. Looking for something else, and back-to-back strikeouts. His first as a St. Louis Cardinal. A long at bat, productive at bat. Goldie's first. 3-0 St. Louis. Is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Steak and Shake. Get 4 meals with 4 items for $4. 4 for $4. Get more for $4 only at Steak and Shake. Paul Goldschmidt is first home run as a Cardinal, and a 2-run homer, and then a double by Yadier Molina to drive in Marcell Ozuna. 3-0 Cardinals, and Jack Flaherty in the rotation. 28 starts a year ago, went 8-9, but dominated at times this lineup of the Milwaukee Brewers.
He certainly did, and Jack Flaherty is tough against a little bit of everybody. As you see the arsenal there, fastball, slider, curveball, and he's got a good changeup as well, uses it sparingly. His slider is, in my opinion, it's one of the best in baseball, and especially the way that he sets it up. He pitches inside, he throws off of it, he's got that bulldog mentality. And I know that the organization is incredibly excited about the upside of Flaherty. We've seen it. We saw it last year. I believe we're only scratching the surface right now.
Lorenzo Cain will lead it off. First pitch, a strike. Career highs a season ago for Cain in average. Stolen bases, on base percentage. It's within a 24-hour span that the Brewers signed a Cain to a 5-year deal and then also made the trade to bring in Christian Yelich, who turned out to be the MVP of the National League.
It was a pretty good day.
I would say so.
They gave Cain the largest free agent contract in the history of the club, 5 years, $80 million. And obviously they knew him before he came up as a Brewer. You don't just hand out that type of money because you like the back of the baseball card. You have to have the right fit as well. And Cain's certainly a great fit here.
1-2 pitch, fouled back. Lineup for Craig Counsell tonight. It's a good one. And it's a mix of righty, lefty, power, speed. Cain, Yelich, Braun, then Shaw, Aguilar, Moustakas, Grandal, a switch hitter, Arcia, and Peralta. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And a fly ball lifted into right center. Harrison Bader under it and makes the catch. Cardinal defense just saw Harrison Bader in center. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Ozuna in left, Dexter Fowler in right. The Cardinal infield, Carpenter, DeYoung, Wong, and Goldschmidt. And Yadier Molina behind the plate. Christian Yelich, the 3-run homer. And a terrific spring, and then the big blast in the ball game yesterday off of Miles Michaelis. And I'm sure Miles would say, yeah, there was some mistakes in the game, and you're going to get beat by Yelich or Cain or Moustakas or Shaw. That's going to happen. But the 2 mistakes I'm sure that he's kicking himself about were the 2 hits by Chacin.
Yes, huge one, a base hit, set up a home run after it. And then the other one was a solo shot that Chacin hit into the bullpen. Ended up being the deciding factor in this one. It's frustrating when that happens. You feel like sometimes when the pitcher is up that you're able to have a little breathing room. As you see the one here, Yelich 3-run home run, dead center field. Miles Michaelis trying to go fastball away. This leaked over the middle of the plate. And Yelich did what he did 36 times last year. Hit that home run. What an incredible year for Christian Yelich. Couple of home runs, 2 home runs shy and 1 RBI shy of the Triple Crown.
3-1 pitch, right center. Bader with room. Two away, and it brings in another MVP, Ryan Braun.
Well, you see where Yadi's set up on the inner half, leaks over the middle of the plate a little bit and gets it out there, but in the wrong part. Yelich knew he just missed it, but still put a charge into that one.
So 2 away, and here's Braun, who dealt with nerve damage in his thumb. Really battled a number of injuries the last couple of years. 2 outs and nobody on.
Kind of forget how long Ryan Braun has been around. Yesterday he tied Paul Molitor for the most opening day starts in the organization. You look down the list of just all your cumulative stats, and he's there. I mean, he's one of the best players to ever wear that uniform, and I think kind of end up taking that for granted. You see the list here, all time, already first in homers, driven in a ton of runs. I'm pretty sure I'm responsible for a few of those. I know I am.
I was going to say, are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I know. At least one of the home runs.
It happens. I mean, this guy.
Yeah, it was an 0-2 fastball, belt high, put it into the bullpen.
Well,
Busch Stadium.
That happens.
It does. I don't remember stuff like that usually, though.
That's the pitch, though, right there, where the Cardinals, you know, it's old adage. I mean, bust a guy in and then get him to wave on a slider away. And that's the kind of stuff that Flaherty can do with this.
He really can. And specifically against a guy like Braun, there is room inside. And you'll be able to set yourself up with that slider away.
Deep in the hole and passed. Cardinal shortstop Paul DeYoung and a 2-out base hit, Ryan Braun.
Just tried to sneak the fastball by him. Didn't happen right there. Just ground ball.
Brings in Travis Shaw. Shaw with 32 home runs a year ago. Brewers made the decision to make sure that Shaw would stay at third base, and then when they brought Moustakas back, he would be the second baseman. And Shaw last year, 99 starts at third, 36 at second base, and actually also some starts at first. Ooh, get it. Is that ours? I couldn't tell if it was going to come over here or over here. That foul ball was right here, and it brings back so many great memories of saving Al many years ago.
Was that here?
Yeah, this is the booth.
There's a lot of real estate up here.
A lot of memories,
I see a lot of baseballs coming this way.
Too.
Surprised you saw that from under the desk.
I was ducking a little bit, and I will fully admit that, because I was looking at a note and didn't quite see it, but saw the crowd below us and their reaction, but did not go under the desk, and that is a lie, Brad Thompson.
Prove it.
But saving Al's life that night was not. Well, there's Benjamin Hockman there and Jen Langosh. Into the shift, backhanded by Colton Wong, and flips over to Goldschmidt. Al is back at the studios. Fox Sports Midwest. He knows I saved his life that night. The Blues Rangers game is airing on Fox Sports Midwest Plus. Check foxsportsmidwest.com for channel numbers. Jack Flaherty showing bunt in the air and foul. With Brad Thompson and Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. 3-0 our score. There's a look at Adam Wainwright in the middle there, and he has a souvenir, and I'm sure that's a highlight of his career. He hasn't done much.
Was he running back and put it in his locker?
Yep. It's a souvenir. The fly ball into right. Catch made by Yelich. Brian Shapiro, our producer tonight, says grab card number 20. And that is the 2019 Cardinals Hall of Fame voting. It's live now through April 12th. Head to cardinals.com/HOF. See the ballot. Vote for your favorite players. Special thanks to Edward Jones, sponsoring the Hall of Fame and the annual voting process. Always a special day now in St. Louis, and we should remind everybody, all 16 living members, the Cardinals Hall of Fame and the National Baseball Hall of Fame, will be in attendance on opening day in St. Louis this upcoming Thursday. 1-0 to Carpenter. He walked and scored first time up.
Top of the order for the Cardinals. Made life very tough on Freddie Peralta. You see, he's already had 43 pitches, drawing walks, fouling balls off. Keep doing it. Keep making him fight.
And the 1-1. Ground ball, fair. Out number 2. Brings in Goldschmidt and a long at bat first time up. And it resulted in this 2-run homer.
This ball was in, way off the plate. And you saw Peralta in that at-bat had missed in there a couple of times. Goldschmidt had fouled off a couple with some authority, put one in the upper deck, but fouled beforehand. Got it again and didn't miss.
And a strike on the inside corner. Shift on the left side and the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pull the hands in, huh?
See him right here. You see it a few times. Hands close to the body. Gets the barrel right to it. Gets those shoulders square and crushes this thing.
Little squibber that will roll foul.
We're seeing Peralta right now. It looks like he's getting a better feel for his breaking ball after that long first inning. He's spotting his fastball a little bit more. Maybe he took a little time to relax and get back into the swing of things, but he looks a lot better this inning.
As a pitcher, you would know this. Sometimes it just takes a feel. Maybe your first start, the emotions, the nerves.
Yes, no question. And trying to get back into the whole swing of things, it is a little bit different. The problem is, though, that if it takes you a while to get into a zone, you dig yourself a bit of a hole. And here we are.
Had a big crowd for opening day, and not nearly the crowd that we saw for game number 1. Roof is closed, 68 degrees inside, and we're told it could snow here tonight in Milwaukee.
Really?
Yes, sir. Here's a 1-2. And Goldschmidt sends one to the upper deck.
Well, I'll tell you what, if yesterday's game was indicative of how this season series is going to go against the Brewers, man, buckle up. Because that was an incredible ball game. The ending isn't exactly how I'd have liked to I'd have written it, but it happens.
What a catch.
Yeah, it was.
Back and forth, the home runs, drama. Goldschmidt hits it down the left field line. Yanks it foul. Tell you what, one of his first batting practices with the Cardinals, Mike Schilt was, holding court, and he was crushing the ball on the far field, and he said, "Yep, that's Paul Goldschmidt." Ooh, up and in. That'll get his attention. 2-2. It may have been a message, but there was only a few guys that were hitting him, man, like Paul Goldschmidt. And it could have been Ozuna or Paul, and Schilt said, "Yep, that's Paul." That's hit sharply to third and off the glove of Shaw, and a fair ball, and the Cardinal first baseman is now 2 for 2. But you get the point. I mean, he hits him a long way.
Yeah, he certainly does. Well, you get one pitch beforehand that is high and tight, and what does Goldschmidt do? Well, he stays right in there and crushes one. Shaw can't handle it. Too hot of a shot. So did Mike Schilt start holding court somewhere else, like further away?
Well, he was probably 40 yards at least behind the fence and left. He said, "We better start moving." I said, "I think you're right."
That's kind of like Big Mac territory back in the day, where he'd take him off of the actual clubhouse itself.
It was unbelievable. So 2 outs and a runner at first. Here's Paul DeYoung. Hit by a pitch, first time up. And again, a shift on the left side. I mentioned it yesterday. I just don't remember the Brewers shifting this much a year ago.
think that having Mike Moustakas as their second baseman also is going to have a little bit to do with this. We know that he's limited in his range. He's still kind of learning that position. So positioning is going to be everything for a guy like him. And look, this is the new norm now for teams all around baseball. It's not just the one big bopper lefty that everybody pulls to the right side. It's any tendencies that they find, teams are going to shift it.
And to Young, it's a high fly ball into center field. Lorenzo Cain under it and makes the catch. We're midway through 2. We're at Miller Park. The opening week around the major leagues. 3-0 St. Louis. (3-0) Cardinals. Paul Goldschmidt with a 2-run homer. Yadier Molina with an RBI double. There's a look at Jose Martinez. Almost tied the game up late yesterday. With more on that, let's check in with Jimmy Hayes. Jimmy.
Yeah, Dan, Jose told me that off the bat he didn't think that ball that he smoked off Josh Hader in the top of the 9th inning yesterday had home run distance. Jose told me, I thought a double off the wall maybe, but balls can stay up here. It was a great catch by Cain. He said it was disappointing, but we did a good job of putting ourselves in a position to win. We know we're going to win a lot of games by doing that. As for staying locked in while coming off the bench, especially for a guy used to getting regular at-bats, Jose told me we have a lot of talent on this team. I understand that, but I will be ready to do whatever Mike Shilton needs me to do, Dan.
Yeah, and Mike was talking about there's a ground ball hit to short, and the Young makes the play and retires Jesus Aguilar. I asked Martinez, I said, well, how close was it? Did you think? Yeah. He goes, well, yes, no, maybe. You know, he wasn't certain either way.
Sure.
And I asked Mike Shildt, I said, did you think it was gone? He said, well, yes. He said, if it didn't go over cleanly, I thought it was going to hit the top of the wall and then skirt over the wall. But hey, regardless, what a great play by Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable at-bat. You remember, nobody was sniffing Josh Hader.
No.
I mean, he was throwing fastballs by everybody. You had the combination of the fact that he's just flat out nasty. He struck out the world last year and started off this year doing the same thing. 4 punch-outs in his couple of innings. Then you had the shadows, and it looked like he was going to be able to do the same thing. And Jose Martinez got that fastball away and gave it a ride. That's a hard job. Gosh, coming off the bench, being that guy that you get that big AB against the toughest relievers out there. But Martinez has done nothing but hit every single level, whether it was before the big leagues, in the big leagues. I mean, he's just been that guy. And by the way, probably one of the best teammates around, always having a smile, always having fun. And he's going to force himself into a lot of at-bats this year.
There's Mike Moustakas. That pitch up and in. He homered for the Brewers in yesterday's ball game. Eric Bedard of the Astros in 2013 was the last major leaguer to earn a save going multiple innings in an opening day assignment. Popped up near the line, and the catch is made by Colton Wong. So, you know, we're talking about it where it's rare that you have somebody get a save going multiple innings on an opening day assignment, and that was by design with Hader, who, by the way, did not throw a slider, a curveball, a changeup. I mean, there was nothing else other than old-fashioned hardball. It was all fastballs by Hader yesterday.
Yeah, he was just letting it rip, and I don't think that we're going to see him move from that position today. He'll certainly have today off. You would think maybe even another one potentially, but I think that seeing that, and as you mentioned, it was by design, I think it's also very telling. It's very telling that in a tight ball game like that, they're not sure who they would go to afterwards. I think it was also telling in the situation, you mentioned it as it came up. Matt Carpenter was up. They had Junior Guerra throwing, had a lefty ready in the pen and didn't go to him. I think that's going to be part of the thing for Craig Counsell and for the Brewers, just figuring out how these guys stack up. You don't have Jeffress now. Should be back in a couple of weeks. You won't have Knebel for the year. He's having Tommy John. So how do you figure it out?
Right. Yasmani Grandal, the switch hitting catcher, a 24 home runs a season ago, led all catchers in that category. A swing and a miss and a strikeout for Jack Flaherty, and his first of the season. Coming up, left fielder Marcell Ozuna, followed by Molina and Fowler. Cardinals on top. Opening weekend, Saturday, April 6th. 30,000 fans, 16 and older, surprised at the gates. Mystery Hall of Fame parade bobblehead, courtesy of Ford. And you could take home Ozzie Smith, Whitey Herzog, or the great Bruce Sutter. Secure your tickets today, cardinals.com/promotions. I know one of your favorites.
You know my favorite.
Engine number 42.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Sutter.
Tell you what, that has been one of my favorite things. First of all, just being around the Cardinals organization is how they have all their guys around. You see Willie McGee there, one of the best, not just best baseball man, one of the best people around. But getting the opportunity over the last couple of years to be around Bruce Sutter, doing the fantasy camps and being around Willie McGee, man, this organization has so much history. Can't wait to see it all again on opening day. All of the Hall of Famers, all of the Cardinal Hall of Famers. It'll be a special day.
0-2 pitch to Ozuna, and he shoots it foul softly down that right field line. Mike Schilt reached out to many of the Hall of Famers and wanted to make sure that they knew that they are always welcome. Come on back, and we want you in camp as long as you want to be there. That is a fair ball inside the third base line and off the sidewall, and Ozuna on his way to second base. Just snuck inside the third base line and right past Travis Shaw, and a leadoff double for Marcell Ozuna.
Well, Shaw was kind of shaded the other way, and he gets a curveball up in the zone right here and just gets it right down the line. On his horse gets two, and here we go again.
There's Yadier Molina RBI double to bring in Ozuna back in the first inning. If you just joined us, a 3-run first for the Cardinals, highlighted by Goldschmidt's first home run as a Cardinal, 2-run homer, and then Molina's RBI double. To see Yadi even there, and I know we'll say it 1,000 times, trying to take the ball and put it to the right side of the infield. The little things that he has done over the course of his career, but played the game the right way. Doesn't always happen, but moving the runner over.
And the great thing about it, he doesn't just serve the ball over there. Like, he drives it that way with authority. I was watching him take BP today, and he spends a lot of time doing that, trying to make sure that he can get the ball over there, because he's going to find himself in that situation a lot, and we've seen it so many times over the years. You have a couple of runners on, and he hits that line drive over the second baseman. Just a complete hitter. He's gotten so much better over the years, which is crazy.
0-2, the count on Molina. Big gap in left center. And he hits it to the right side. It's up the middle. Diving stop. Moustakas, the stretch by Aguilar. And Molina is out. That's a great play by Mike Moustakas. Takes a hit and probably a runaway from the Cardinals.
See, Peralta misses his spot badly up the middle. Moose does a great job getting to this thing, knock it down, pick it up. He knows he's got a little bit of time with Yadi running. A very nice play by Mike Moustakas.
There's Dexter Fowler, and the infield is drawn in.
Danny, back to your point, with Yadier Molina still gets the job done, doesn't get the base knock. You've got Marcell Ozuna standing on third base now. One spiked breaking ball away from being in.
The 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fowler drew a walk first time up. The 1-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the hole, 1-2, and the next to the Cardinals right fielder. Inside corner. Tell you what, that is probably 4 or 5 really tough takes yesterday and again tonight by Fowler.
Oh, he's had a really good eye and knows his zone really well. Peralta went in there for a strike beforehand. This one is off the plate by about 2 balls. Fowler able to lay off.
The 2-2. Way outside. You know, and that's part of his game when he's right, is that it's on base percentage, and he'll get on. Not just the hits, the occasional power, but the fact that he'll get on base. And a full count. Draws the walk. His second walk of the night. So runners at the corners now for Colton Wong. 2 home runs in the ball game yesterday. So he drove in 3. He struck out first time up with runners at first and second.
Great to see Colton Wong get that start yesterday on a roll like that. We know that you're not going to get 2 home runs out of Colton Wong every single day, but you know that he's got that type of power. He's got the speed. He's got the great glove. I think this is going to be a big year for him.
And Wong on the first pitch pops it up in foul territory. And the catch is made by Shaw, and the Cardinals now with 2 outs. We'll have Harrison Bader coming up.
Colton has been very selective yesterday and today, not swinging at that first pitch. He's upset at himself with that one. Peralta well executed. He struggled a little bit trying to throw his fastball exactly where he wants it, but he got that one in a good spot.
Let's see if Harrison Bader can come through with 2 outs for St. Louis. Runners at first and third, and already now with 2 outs in this inning, the pitch count for Peralta is at 70. So you got to keep that in mind. The news for the Brewers, not good. Knebel done for the season. Tommy John, Hader 2 innings yesterday, so will not pitch in the ball game. You wouldn't think tonight. And Bader swinging a miss.
Kind of makes you wonder if there are any more conversations with free agent closer Craig Kimbrell. There had been rumors beforehand that he was linked to the Brewers. Certainly, when you get news like that today, I'm guessing, or at least I would be reaching out. It sounds like the asking price has been quite high for Kimbrell. Doesn't seem like they've been budging much, but man, what an addition he would be.
Showing bunt, taking a ball that skipped away from Grandal, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. One thing that the Brewers do have some of the contracts coming off their books after this year, so if they wanted to get creative, maybe backload the deal. Atlanta, there's been some talk of Kimbrell maybe going back to the Braves.
Heard little rumors earlier around the Nationals, although it sounded like they wanted to keep their salary down a little bit under the luxury tax.
Here's a 1-1 to Bader. Now 1-2.
To be honest, there's not a bullpen in baseball that Craig Kimbrell's not a big time boost for.
Anybody. He's one of the great closers ever. And look at the numbers, and he was incredible last year with the Boston Red Sox. 1-2 the count on the Cardinals center fielder Harrison Bader. Runner goes. It's Fowler. Check swing. And he did go. I'm going to say he went. And Bader can't believe it. As he flips his bat. And the Cardinals strand a pair. It stays 3-0 St. Louis. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the St. Louis Cardinals. By Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Pick your power, fuel, or battery with Steel. Search STIHL. And opening week around Major League Baseball is presented by Ameritrade. Not sure that Bader went around. Let's take a look. Close.
It's very close. He was certainly frustrated, but I think that he's got a beef right there. At the very least, ask for some help on something like that if it's not clear cut. It gets frustrating when that happens.
Yeah, it happens. Went against him, and so we turn the page. Orlando Arcia, Freddie Peralta, and Lorenzo Cain. 3-0 Cardinals. Home half of the third. Arcia looking for his first hit of the season. Arcia at one point sent down last year. This time, a season ago, considered the top prospect in the Brewers system. Remember, they traded Lewis Brinson to get Christian Yelich, and now when you look back on that deal, you say, my goodness, what a steal that was.
Certainly, it worked out pretty well. Lewis Brinson, I still believe that there is a high ceiling with him, but sometimes you got to make a deal where you're just not sure what the upside is for somebody when you know what you're getting in return, and it worked out quite well so far for the Brewers.
Brinson was striking out about 40% of the time for the Miami Marlins, and they had to send him down. Arcia, in this case, got sent down, then came back up in September and went on a run. Better player offensively, very good defensive player at shortstop. Fouls that back.
I think that's the thing, especially with this lineup that the Brewers have, is if the glove plays, if you're able to just play your position, defensively be great. He doesn't have to be great with the bat. I mean, he's got to put together some professional ABs, put the ball in play, make something happen here and there. But man, this lineup is so long. You see that nasty, nasty breaking ball right there from Jack Flaherty. Gets him way out in front.
That's strikeout number 2 for Jack.
You see Arcia just geared up for the heater there. Gets that breaking ball.
AARP take on today. Cardinals single season strikeout leaders. Rookie starters Rick Ankiel, the 2000, Dizzy Dean in 1932. And then last year, this man in 2018 had 182 as a rookie, but the all-time record held by our buddy Rick Ankiel. And for fans that don't know, Rick was on our air last year as an analyst, and now he'll be in uniform again for the St. Louis Cardinals, trying to come back. And that is a fair ball, and Goldschmidt will flip to Flaherty. And the story is this: Rick Ankiel was a part of a team and a collection of Hall of Fame players, and very good collection of former major leaguers that competed against college players last year. I was on the phone with Rick, and he said, Dan, they're telling me they want me to get on the mound. So we get about 24, 48 hours that he knew he would go on the mound. As you get a look at Lorenzo Cain, it was around August or so, maybe late July, and he said, I'm going to do it. Got on the mound. He was hitting about 92, 93 on the gun with control. And he decided, after working with one of the kids in Florida as well that had yips, the yips throwing the baseball, and he said, I'm gonna try to come back. And the Cardinals welcomed him back with open arms, and he lives in the Jupiter area. He actually had to have a Seth Maness type surgery, if you will. They version of Tommy John, and he's going to try to make it back with the St. Louis Cardinals at some point. Now, he'll be 40. He's still throwing hard. He was throwing low to mid-90s at times. And he's going to get back in uniform, single A, double A, triple A, and see where it takes him. And I wish him nothing but the best.
I can't wait. This story has been so good. It's been amazing. It's had its ups and downs. I'll never forget when he came back as a position player and hit his first home run, and how the crowd just erupted. I mean, everybody wanted it for him so badly. Knew everything that he'd been through. I can't wait for this next chapter for him. One of the most talented individuals in anything, by the way. Anything that he picks up. If you're playing a random game, he's going to beat you at it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, Rick's got it all. I can't wait.
Great person. 2-2. Put in play. Barehanded. Do or die for Paul DeYoung, and a base hit. Lorenzo Cain getting down the line, and a 2-out hit.
Yeah, Paul DeYoung knew he was going to have to be very, very quick. Go with the bare hand on that one. Didn't happen.
How about this swing, though, from Cain? I mean, look at that. The
Super
slider.
defensive. Yeah. It's so late. And that's the thing. He's already shown Cain that he'll go inside with the fastball, so he's kind of cautious. He's aware of that. And then you see the late break of the slider. Just putting it in play. Cain's got some wheels, though.
Boy, you'd rather see Yelich start an inning instead of this spot here. Fly to deep center first time up. Just to finish the thought with Rick Ankiel, 40, low to mid 90s with a fastball. He said, what about everything else? And he laughed at both of us. He said, guys, I never lost the curveball.
That's so true. That is so true. You play catch with him at any of the Cardinals do these fantasy camps, and they're great, and they bring back a lot of former players. Rick will just be messing around in the outfield and throw you the old snapdragon, hit you in the foot with it, and you hear it coming still. You hear the seams just hissing as it's coming your way. That didn't go anywhere.
Incredible. The check on Cain. 3-0 Cardinals. Home half of the third. 2-run homer by Goldschmidt back in the first, along with an RBI double by Yadier Molina. Outfield is deep, straight away. Ryan Braun on deck, 3-0 the count. Up and in. By design there, even though you're putting the tying run in Braun at the plate.
Yeah, I do believe it's just a better matchup overall. I mean, you're not trying to walk him there, but once you get to 2-0, you're going to make sure that you're very, very careful. He's trying to get in there. If he was going to miss, it was going to be in that he was going to miss as opposed to over the plate. I like this matchup for Jack Flaherty a lot better.
Braun a single to left. First time up. 20 home runs a season ago. Drove in 64. Went 1 for 4 yesterday and 1 for 1 thus far tonight. Runners at first and second. All started with an infield hit by Cain. That's the thing. Baseball's so funny. A harmless little infield hit, and all of a sudden now you got the tying run at the plate.
It happened yesterday. It happened with Chacin. getting what appeared to be a harmless knock. Then Lorenzo Cain followed it up with one, and then Christian Yelich hit the 3-run bomb. Going to talk it over here, big spot. Exactly how they want to attack Ryan Braun. You know how dangerous he can be, has been in the past.
Pitch count at 51 now for Jack Flaherty. Outfield deep, straight away. Time call.
You don't usually see that after they went out there and had a meeting, that they seem to be off of the same page. Yachty resetting the signs here.
And the 1-0. It's now 29 strikes, 23 balls, and not quite as efficient as we've seen when Jack is right.
No, certainly. He hasn't had the same feel for his break ball. Now, we've seen a couple of nasty ones on some punch outs. You saw the one right there to the last to Cain that he hit to shortstop. He's had a few that he's pulled off the zone, a couple of fastballs that he's missing. I'd rather take the misses where they are currently as opposed to down the middle. But he has been working a little bit harder than we're used to seeing him.
On a play. It's a big pitch there on 2-0.
Had to get back in the count. He tried to go with the fastball in beforehand. Goes away on this one. And Braun can handle the ball, especially up, and he can handle it away, and he can drive it that way.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that you get it out there far enough. Flaherty does on that one.
Flaherty last year inside the Central at an ERA of about 2.5. Really good inside the division.
This is a time where he can drop in that slider when he's feeling right too in a hitter's count. Another thing that just made him so effective last year is when he was able to go to that at any count.
And he was really good in these spots against the Brewers. We'll see if it carries over. 2-1 pitch. Left center and a long one. Braun has tied it up. An infield hit, a walk, and a home run.
Well, you said it, things can escalate quickly, and they certainly did here in this one. He throws in the slider. Well, Ryan Braun gets every bit of this one. You see Yachty setting up, down and away. This slider just is spinning up there, leaks to the inner half. There is not much breathing room at all in this Brewers lineup, and if you make a mistake, they can make you pay for it.
Now Travis Shaw. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shift on the right side. Shaw grounded to second, first time up. That's fouled back. Just to the left of our booth. Well, you talked about it, with that slider, you go to it too much, you're going to hang a few, and that was one that you just can't hang to Ryan Braun.
The one that Braun hit out was definitely not near one of the best sliders that Jack Flaherty has. It kind of spun out of his hand, backed up. It looked like he was around it as opposed to on top of it. When he stays on top of it, it's got that great downward break. That one just side to side. There's a good one there.
And a swing and a miss at the strikeout third for Flaherty tonight. We're tied 3-3. Top of the fourth, and it's 3-3. Ryan Braun with a 3-run homer after the Cardinals jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Jack Flaherty will lead it off, followed by Carpenter and Goldschmidt. 3-3 our score. With Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes with us. Tommy, our director. Ryan Shapiro, our producer tonight on Fox Sports Midwest. Flaherty fly to right field, first time up.
Dan, I know you've been counting now so far in this series through a couple innings today and yesterday's game. 14 of the 15 runs that have been scored have been via the long ball.
Flaherty base hit into right field. And Jack is 1 for 2. Well, that was the theme yesterday in Major League Baseball, not just in this ball game. A lot of home runs hit in opening day.
Jack doing a good job helping himself out. Peralta unhappy about it. Seen some pitchers doing some work. Chacin yesterday got the single, ended up scoring on a home run, hit his own home run.
So Bradley,
yes,
149 runs scored in the first 17 games. So 17 played. That's fouled back. 89 of the 149 scored came via the home run. So
welcome to baseball.
60% yesterday.
I was actually thinking about this during batting practice today, on both sides, by the way, watching how many home runs in batting practice. I mean, that's the swing now for a lot of guys. Now the game will dictate.
Speaking of home runs, but that is pulled foul and not by much.
The game will dictate sometimes, what you're trying to do. You're not always trying to get the ball in the air and hammer it. Sometimes you're trying to get something to the right side or whatever. But during batting practice today, of seeing both teams just launch home runs left and right, it got me wondering, how much more money are they spending on baseballs nowadays? Probably a lot.
I also think that's why, to an extent, maybe that you can move a Moustakas to second base. Launch angle, home runs, and also the slide at second base. I mean, you're not getting taken out at second base like you were when Hal McRae was playing.
There are very few things to worry about in a situation like that, and you position him as well as you can. You know that offensively he plays. You see the shift there. Shaw moves all the way from third base, fills that gap between first and second.
But I think all these things are factors as to why that certain players, and Moustakas, by the way, the position is not foreign to him. There was a time when he was in the minor leagues, and he did play a little second base.
He's a good athlete too.
But in the big leagues, he's been primarily a third baseman. Or to the count. 0-2 and Flaherty at first base. You wouldn't think that Jack is probably on the move, but apparently Freddie Peralta is a little concerned.
Maybe giving him a little chance to reset.
This will be pitch number 80 of the night. And the next to Carpenter. And Carpenter smokes it in the gap in right center. And it's down. Flaherty stops at second base. And the Cardinals have something cooking here in the fourth with runners at first and second.
This ball hung up a little bit more than expected. Yelich and Kane both converging on this one. Kane gives way. Yelich must have called him off there. Couldn't quite do it. Flaherty had to see it down. And here we go. Got another visit.
In the games that we did, and here comes, this might be it. Yeah, that's Craig Counsell, so it looks like he's going to go to his pen. Albers, the big right-hander, had been throwing in their pen, but you know, last year with 6 bound visits allowed, I don't remember at any point in time that really came into play, and now it's down to 5, and so they're going to go to their bullpen here early with nobody out here in the fourth, and we'll tell you all about it when we come back. There's a look at Matt Albers in our Chevy called to the pen. 34 games last year. ERA of nearly 7.5. So Albers in, and Albers will get Paul Goldschmidt, who has seen a ton of pitches in this game, and this one resulted in his first Cardinal home run, a 2-run shot. StatCast AI, powered by AWS. And so Freddie Peralta 3+. Good recorded out here in the top of the fourth. 6 hits, walked 3, struck out 3, and gave up that home run. And he's responsible for the 2 runners on and nobody out here for Albers. And welcome to 2019. You get Paul Goldschmidt. And that's ball 1.
That's 7.34 ERA for Albers. It was a tale of 2 seasons for him. His first 21 games, he was fantastic. Had an ERA just over 1.08. His last 13 outings, he gave up 25 earned runs in just over 9 innings.
Really slings the ball up there.
Does for sure. Against the righties, you're going to see fastball, slider. That's it. And lefties, you're going to see the fastball changeup. I mean, that's what he's got. He's had a lot of success in this league doing that for a long time. But man, it fell off for him in the second half last year.
And the 1-1.
You see Paul Goldschmidt just making the pitchers work today. Freddie Peralta fouled him off a bunch of times. That was a great take right there on a nasty slider.
The 2-1 pitch to Goldschmidt. Foul. And now it's 2-2. The 2-2. Goldschmidt out to center. Kane backing up to make the catch. And tagging up the pitcher, Flaherty, from second to third. Oh, was smoked into center field.
It certainly was. You see Jack Flaherty sees it off the bat, knows exactly what to do, gets back to the bag, tags up. Flaherty, great athlete, good speed, makes it over there easy. Paul Goldschmidt appears to be locked in right now.
Oh boy, does he ever.
Home run, hammered one to third. Shaw couldn't handle it, and then drove that one right on the screws to center.
You know, sometimes, as you've seen over your years in baseball, it's a long at bat, which he had in the first inning, that allows you to get like that.
Get to see a lot of pitches, get to foul some off, get to get in a little bit of a groove.
Now Paul DeYoung, and he hits it down the right field line, slicing. That ball is down. It's trapped by Yelich. It's a base hit. Flaherty will score, And the Cardinals go back on top with a base hit by Paul DeYoung to make it 4-3.
Well, DeYoung up here, he ends up getting that slider, catches a little bit more of the plate, gets it off the end of the bat, and when you have a swing like that, it's going to be tailing away from Yelich. Yelich does a very good job of trapping this thing. Flaherty's got to see it down. He does. And the Cardinals have the lead yet again. Hopefully they're able to keep pouring on this inning.
Here's Marcell Ozuna. Tied him up. And strike one.
Ozuna, career off of Matt Albers. 2 for 6. A home run, driven in 3. I've seen him before.
Runners at first and second. And the 0-1. It's gone inside and tied him up.
We saw Marcell Ozuna specifically late in spring. So we saw it last year. That's where teams were attacking him. It was inside, inside, inside. He wasn't able to get around to it. Late in spring, he finally was. He was getting the barrel to that thing, being able to keep it fair. I don't know if I'd want to go in there again.
0-2 pitch. Evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the shift on here for Marcell Ozuna. Doubled back in the 3rd. Fielder's choice, run scored back in the 1st. Cardinals with a lead of 1 run. And he struck him out.
Well, Albers goes with the slider after showing him inside a couple of times. Ozuna not happy with it. Did look like it was a little bit off. Same pitch was called the ball last batter.
Yadier Molina doubled. And also grounded out. Just off the plate for ball 1. Double back in the 1st. Drove in Ozuna and made it 3-0. And 2 balls and no strikes. Fowler on deck. See if he gets a pitch to drive here. A strike, and wow. Grandal couldn't even handle it.
Well, I'm pretty sure the 2 of them were not on the same page on this one. Grandal looked for the slider, gets a fastball. Lucky to get a glove on that. Marvin Hudson, the home plate umpire, was very happy that he got a glove on that.
Back to the bag. That's going to be a block. Carpenter started to head to 3rd, and then all of a sudden Albers was obviously something disrupted him in his motion to the plate, and no argument. So a base hit could score 2 here.
You see Matt Albers, shoulders first. If you're going to step off, it's got to be the foot first. He has the shimmy, no doubt about it. And here we go, base hit scores 2.
And That's outside. And you wonder if they're going to just maybe put Molina and put him on and not pitch to him and deal with Fowler.
They've got a good chance to see that slider definitely down and away. Think about Yachty, though. If you don't execute it, if you don't put it exactly where you want to, he can easily serve it over there to the right side.
So the base is loaded. Dexter Fowler. Now Dexter is walked twice.
Had a couple of really good at-bats. Laying off pitches very, very close in the zone.
You know, a guy that kind of slings it like this, we talk so much. You drop down, and as a left-handed batter, you get a little better look at this type of pitcher as opposed as a right-handed batter. So maybe that plays into Dexter's hands. Who knows? Strike one.
It would probably be smart of Albers to try to stay away. With the lefties, he uses the changeup a lot more than he uses the slider. But if he does pull one over there a little bit, to your point, get a chance to see it well, that's Dexter's power stroke, is that down and in.
The 0-1. Two walks tonight. Bases loaded. 4-3 St. Louis. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the next to Fowler. Been battling from behind in the count all night to get the walks, and now behind here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch.
Albers throws that very nice slider down and in. Grandal holding it, expecting the call. Looks like Dexter Fowler might have got an extra life right here. Let's see exactly what he can do with it.
Wow.
Yeah. That was a good pitch. Baseball's a weird game, isn't it?
Oh, man.
Something like that happens. Looks like you made the perfect pitch. Then all of a sudden, maybe you make a mistake. Maybe the game changes drastically.
Oh, man. Two and 2 the count, and now Fowler steps out. You feel a little tension here with the crowd. Albers, maybe the catcher, home plate umpire. Let's see if Fowler can make him pay. The 2-2. Got him. Tied him up and a strikeout. Flaherty. A little flare into right. 3 singles and a lead. Day yesterday for Cardinals second baseman Colton Wong, and we check in with Jim.
Yeah, Colton had quite the performance for himself yesterday, smacking a pair of homers. But don't think for a minute that Colton will fall in love with the long ball. He says those days are behind him. He told me the first thing I did today was get in the cage and start trying to line the ball to left center. I know I can drive the ball when I get my pitch, but that's not my game. My job is to get on base. He said the biggest change for him over the last couple seasons, maturity. Colton said, I don't feel like I need to impress anyone anymore. I know what I can do. And then we saw plenty of impressive things from Colton last season.
When Mike Schilt took over, Colton seemed to take off. At the plate, in the field, finalist for the Gold Glove. Jesus Aguilar is at the plate. Shift on the left side. Aguilar, Moustakas, and Rondell for Milwaukee. Cardinals boy, they miss a very good opportunity. And that's the type of at bat that, mention it, you know, you want to see Fowler start, get off to a good start. Boy, you got kind of a second life in that at bat too, with the pitch that did not go Albert's way, and
he caught a big time break on that slider. And then I mean, we've seen some great at bats from Dexter already. His eye laying off things. That fastball that he ended up striking him out was in off the plate a ways.
And a ground ball, base hit past to Young. And the tying run is aboard Jesus Aguilar, who's 1 for 2. Join us on April 7th. 30,000 fans 16 and older take home a Cardinals hooded windbreaker courtesy of Old Dominion Freight Line. All kids 15 and younger receive a free ticket voucher as well for select Cardinal home games. Cardinals.com/promotions for more info. Mike Moustakas. Over 1. Popped out his first time up. Grandal on deck. Pitch count for Flaherty at 65. It'll be interesting how the Cardinals want to use Alex Reyes in terms of, you know, when he gets up. Now, he did get up and get loose in the game yesterday, Brad, and obviously didn't come in to the ball game, but and Mike has addressed this, and there's Alex. It could be such a weapon for the Cardinals, the #1 prospect, Cardinal system, but you know, when he's up, does he come in games? Can you use him in back-to-back? How much is he going to throw in a week? I mean, all those things are as we go along in this season. I'm sure it's kind of a wait-and-see approach, but you know, things that Alex and Mike Maddox and Mike Schilt will get a good feel for.
Certainly. Well, I think the situation that Mike Schilt got him up in yesterday is pretty indicative of how they're going to want to use him. They got him up hoping that they tied the game or went ahead. If in fact they would have, we'd have likely seen Reyes in that game. Didn't happen. Cardinals still down by a run. They went different directions. Went with Leon, Brebbia, Gant, all, by the way, who threw really well. But that is going to be part of it with Reyes, because getting him up, getting him hot, you got to count those, and you're going to have to be cognizant of how many times that happens.
That's hit down into the corner. Aguilar on his way to third base. Moustakas to second. And the Brewers have runners at second and third and nobody out.
Well, you fall behind, bad things can happen. Falls way behind. Moustakas right here gets in a situation where he's got to come to him. He does so, and Moustakas is ready for this one. Tries to go away, ends up middle in.
At times we have not quite seen the sharp break or bite on that slider of Flaherty, have we?
Yeah, it's been here or there. We've seen some great ones. We've seen him miss a few times. We've seen him fall behind a couple times, specifically with the lefties, and that's something that if there was any issue that popped up for him last year, it was kind of falling behind, pumping strikes to lefties. To righties, he's able to, you know, hone in a little bit better. For some reason, the lefties would have been a little bit more of an issue for him.
Rondell to left, Ozuna back and makes the catch. Runner will tag, and we're tied. That's Aguilar, and it's 4-4. Yasmani Grandal has tied it up at 4. Nice play by Ozuna.
See this one hit well off the bat. Ozuna gets to it. Ball traveled, I think, a little bit better than anybody was expecting. Good job by Marcel getting back on it.
Ben Gamble at the on-deck circle. He'll pinch hit for Albers. There's Gamble, and at the plate, Orlando Arcia. Runner at second base, Moustakas. John Gant throwing in the Cardinals pen. We saw him in game 1. Broken bat, soft liner, and that's out number 2. Arcia for 2, and they'll pull back Gamble, and here comes Eric Thames. A couple years ago, coming from Korea, he was the talk of baseball, and he crushed everything, and that means the Cardinals. I mean, he was hitting everything. He is. We saw him last night at a local restaurant. We were having dinner with our producer and also Keith Oberman, who does our graphics and does a great job. And
you notice him when he walks in.
Yes, you do. And he came in, and by the way, he's the nicest guy too.
Yeah.
He's just a menacing looking dude, and we're like, man, is that guy built? We said hello to him, and very pleasant, very nice, but man, you don't want to mess with that dude.
You see him and Tyler O'Neill hanging out for some reason.
Fan favorite here in Milwaukee, Eric Thames.
Came in, got a pinch hit knock yesterday in game 1.
Shift on the right side. And here's Thames, the pinch hitter. And he takes a ball low. Well, with the emergence of Aguilar, there was, Thames playing first base. He played a little left field. He played right field. And looks at a strike. A little bit low. Fans didn't like it, but Flaherty gets the call.
That's a good pitch right there. Bottom of the zone, staying at the knees. That's one he's had a tough time repeating.
On their bench, they've got Manny Pena, the backup catcher. We mentioned Gamble. And they also have a versatile player in Hernan Perez. There's a swing and a miss. He's not a foul ball, and
I'm not sure Yachty didn't get crossed up on that one.
Yeah, just got through Molina.
See this here. That was one of the better curveballs we've seen out of Jack Flaherty. I don't know if that was a cross up, just flat out nasty.
So now Thames, 2 strikes on him. Big slugger that went to Korea, put up just incredible numbers. Set a fastball high, and it's 2-2. But remember that, though, 2 years ago. I mean, the story in baseball.
He was the guy from the Brewers, and we know this now. They have a lot of these guys, but he was the one that you did not want to see up in any spot. I didn't care what you threw him. He was putting a good swing on it.
Cardinals just trying to get Flaherty maybe through this inning. It's a grind right now, even though the pitch count is only at 77. His spot for the Cardinals due up third in inning number 5. Check swing, and he went. Strikeout of Thames, slams his bat, slams his helmet. He screams down at the third base umpire, Gary Cederstrom. The strikeout for Flaherty, his 4th of the night, and we head to inning number 5. T-Mobile MLB.tv. You can join T-Mobile and score free MLB.tv. Sign up now at T-Mobile.com/MLB. And make sure you can follow Cardinal baseball wherever you may be. We hope you're enjoying it. The 2019 season is upon us. It's our Chevy call to the pen. So Colton Wong is the batter for St. Louis. Cardinals about hit the Brewers. Inning number 5 rolls in. 4-4 our score. The Brewers and the Cardinals. These two teams, Brad, will face each other, including yesterday and today, 10 times in the first 24 games.
That is a lot. And you know how impactful those 10 games are. I mean, these two teams are going to be battling it out. Both believe that they're going to win the division. Got a chance to be an interesting month.
Well, you got to wonder if that played into the decision making yesterday, maybe, of Craig Counsell. It's opening day. The energy, the electricity in the ballpark, and trying to win that first game. Alex Claudio is the new pitcher, and really, you would have to say the only lefty available for Craig Counsell tonight, with Hader going 2 innings last night, and he's not happy with the home plate umpire. And 3-0 the count now on Colton Wong, and it's a leadoff walk. But I just wonder if it's playing a factor as well. You got the Cardinals on the ropes. You got Hader. You got all these games early on, and Jeffress is not available for the first month. He probably knew that Knebel at that point was going to have Tommy John surgery. Now we know officially his season is over, and Knebel was a stabilizing force for them, so that's a big loss. And he's just saying, look, I'm going to roll the dice, and if I can get a win here, I know it's the first game, but if I can get it, I'm doing it.
Well, the win means the same if it's right now or if it's in 4 months. They all count.
And Bader smokes it into center, but there's Kane for out number 1.
I think you're potentially going eyeball test yesterday too, and Hader after his first inning, I mean, he just blew nothing but heaters right by everybody, and it would have been very difficult to hand that off to anybody else. And that's how they used him last year. They used him in multiple innings, give him a couple of days off, kind of a hybrid role for him. Threw over 80 innings out of the bullpen. But from this game now, it changes everything. Exactly how you're going to piece it together. We got a brand new ball game now, battle of the bullpens.
Now on the flip side, if you're Mike Schild, Jack Flaherty's had 78 pitches, only 4 innings into this game, but he'll deal with the top of the lineup coming up in Kane, Yelich, and Braun. I mean, you'd love to give him, through one more.
I think that you have somebody ready.
Such a short leash.
Yes.
Flaherty is 1 for 2 on the night with a run scored. Nothing in 2 the count. Andrew Miller is on the mound and just loosening up with a towel. Not a baseball, but just a towel out there. Sometimes you'll see pitchers do that. As Flaherty with 2 strikes gets the bunt down. Beauty. Will you explain that to viewers out there? I've seen guys do it all the time, and you're a former bullpen guy. What's Miller doing with the towel?
Well, he's working on, first of all, just mechanically, but he's also working on just getting that extension, getting that feel for what he's going to do without the throwing a baseball. It gets you loosened out, gets you to really reach out there. If you don't reach far enough when you're using the towel, you don't get a good snap at the end of it, and that's kind of the feel that you're trying to get. Then once you pick up a baseball, you get that same feel of the snap when you let it go. Just knows you're reaching out there.
All kinds of ways to get going out there.
And everybody's got their own thing. That's kind of the fun thing. When you look generally around the 5th inning, no matter how the game's going, that's when the bullpen starts moving around. Everybody starts doing their routine. You'll see guys with, weighted balls. You'll see guys with the band. You'll see the towel. You'll see different guys doing stretches. I mean, everybody's got their own thing to get ready.
There's Matt Carpenter So Claudio coming into the ball game here in the 5th. Turn the lineup over later in the game. No lefty.
Yeah. And this, by the way, is the matchup that we didn't see yesterday. Junior Guerra was throwing. He had already given up the home run to Wong. Carpenter comes up. Claudio's ready in the bullpen. They didn't go to him. And by the way, Carpenter skied one. Barely missed it. That could have been the difference in the game as well.
So remember that when you get to maybe the 7th or the 8th. And you don't have Claudio and you don't have Hader. And you've got to go with a righty in a matchup with Wong or Carpenter. Or maybe a Matt Wieters or Drew Robinson. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Carpenter. And he puts it on the ground in the shift. Cardinals strand a runner midway through 5, and we're tied 4-4. The bullpen to the rotation. Dakota Hudson will make his 2019 debut. It's our Budweiser What's on Tap. Brandon Woodruff will go for the Milwaukee Brewers. And we'll come your way tomorrow, 5:30. And note where you can find the game, Fox Sports Midwest Plus. Fox Sports Midwest Plus tomorrow. On the main channel tonight, but Fox Sports Midwest Plus. And if you have any questions, just go to the website, foxsportsmidwest.com, and they'll find the channel for you. As Kane drops to a knee, you'll see that time and again from Lorenzo Kane. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You see him pull a string right there, sink that one in. Nice adjustment right there from the first pitch too, because we're seeing Flaherty get a little rotational. Kind of arm is dropping and he's slinging it across his body as opposed to getting on top. Made a good adjustment on that second pitch.
Speaking of sinking the baseball, we'll get into that tomorrow with a guy that can do that time and again, Dakota Hudson. 2-1 pitch, now 3-1. Well, this will be interesting. This will be an inning that will maybe define this game for Jack Flaherty and the Cardinals. Nobody up and throwing yet, but that could change very quickly. 3-1 pitch. Kane, base hit into left. Seemed to be a pitch up, and Kane is 2 for 3.
Well, you see it here. You see where Yachty's set up. You see where it ends up. Yachty down and away, pitch up and in.
Up for the second time, John Gant. He was up already earlier in this ball game tonight.
You'd have to think that he's very close to being ready.
Yelich has fly to deep center and also walked and scored back in the 3rd. And a strike.
But that's where Flaherty has had a lot of success. You see him get strikes on that inner half and pitch in there, not just for effect, but pitch in there to get ahead and then work from that. He's had some issues doing that a little bit today.
Nothing and 2. He's going right at the MVP of the National League here.
That Kane can move over there at first. 30 bags last year. Got to be aware, got to keep him close.
He is running. Throw by Yachty. What a throw. He got him. What a throw to get Kane, and he may be hurt. Diving in head first and holding his left hand, and it may be his thumb. What a throw by the Gold Glover, Yadier Molina.
We got to hope that Kane is not hurt badly. They're definitely shaken up. That was an incredible catch and throw. By the way, great job of Flaherty by holding him a couple of times. You get a curveball. He picks this thing, comes up clean, and throws one right on the bag. That is an incredibly difficult play. Great catch and tag by Paul DeJong. My goodness.
We saw in spring training he was, again, terrific catch and throw, and they will review. Kane immediately popped up and thought he was safe, trying to make his case.
And that thing, that thumb where he comes in and hits the bag, there's no give to that thing. So you see a lot of the guys have that glove on so that doesn't happen. Well, you see the pitch, big spike curveball, as quick as can be. It is very close there. It looks like that hand might have gotten in.
Play under review, and they showed it on the big screen here. The fans think that he is safe.
We've seen this now from a couple of different angles. It's difficult to tell, and remember, the big thing is you got to find conclusive evidence to the contrary if you are going to overturn it. And no evidence found there. The catch, the throw, Kane's unhappy about it. Yadier Molina doing what we've seen him do for a long, long time. Man, what a play right there, and what a momentum shifter.
Pop time 1:09.3 from Yadier Molina, still doing it after all these years.
That's hard enough to do on a perfect fastball, you know, down and away. To have to pick it and then be able to make that transfer, make the perfect throw against a guy like that who can run, a great base stealer. Man, that was huge right there.
Changed the complexion of this inning. Now 2-2 on Yelich. So taps that foul. '289th career caught stealing. That's most among active catchers. Russell Martin, 283. '289. Hit the other way, and that's a big caught stealing now. Instead, it's still a 4-4 game. Would have been 5-4.
You got to think that this might be it.
It is. I think Mike Schilt pulls him right now. I would imagine it's got to be. It's got to get him right here. Yep. That'll be it. John Gant coming on. 7 hits aside. 4-4 game. Brewers and Cardinals going back and forth. You can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Cardinals. It's presented by T-Mobile. 4-4 our score. We're in the 5th. Chevy called to the pen. 2 games, 2 appearances, John Gant.
Well, Mike Schilt told everybody that John Gant, he might have missed out on that 5th starter spot. Dakota Hudson, who gets to start tomorrow, ended up winning that job. That didn't mean that Gant was just going to sit out there in the bullpen and be the long guy. Proof positive the last 2 days. Been going to him.
Here's Ryan Braun. Infield hit by Kane back in the 3rd with 2 outs. A walk by Yelich, and then Braun hit the 3-run homer. That tied the game up at 3. And now we sit 4-4. Back-to-back hits in this inning, and Flaherty's been chased. John Gant in. Gant was competing for the Cardinal rotation. Dakota Hudson was named into the rotation, and he'll go tomorrow. Ground ball, foul. Nothing in 2. Talk about Gant. He's got a fastball that will get 94, 96. A good curveball that doesn't get talked about a lot because of a changeup that separates his pitches from the others. The Vulcan grip on that changeup. The 0-2.
There's that changeup right there that you're talking about. And that's a pitch to me that is not used near enough in the game, is the right-on-right changeup. Just don't see it enough, and you see the Vulcan there. You see the big split, the V in the fingers. You see the tumbling action behind it. That has been a great pitch for John Gant throughout his career.
Nothing in 2 the count. Up and in. Various ways to throw a changeup. Circle change. Some guys just bury it in the palm of their hands.
Yeah, 3-finger changeup. It's definitely a big-time field pitch. You see, they're going to try to get in the kitchen here of Ryan Braun yet again.
Got him. Good fastball at 95, and the strikeout for Gant.
Well, went in for effect the pitch beforehand. This time goes in for a strike up in the zone, challenges Braun and gets him. Ryan Braun is great when he can get extended. Talked about it earlier in the game. There's room inside. There's room inside to get him out, not just for effect. And Gant finds it.
Travis Shaw 0 for 2. Grounded out to second and also struck out. Shaw struck out 25 times in spring training. 30
that
plus.
seems like a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot to be sure. And we know, though, tremendous power.
Boom or bust, right?
Yep.
He's been very good. That was a great trade they made with the Red Sox to bring him over. Tyler Thornburg went the other way.
Was hurt. He got hurt once he got to Boston. Foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike. The shift in the game of baseball, seeing it more and more and more. Outfield straightaway and deep. And again, a check on Christian Yelich. I mean, though, at this point in time, though, in the game, I mean, I can understand why a pitcher would get frustrated if a guy just pokes one the other way, and you're saying, well, I played the game for how many every years you
and it's always been an out.
Right.
It's always been there.
But the numbers will show you this is how you got to play it.
I think it all comes out in the wash, because you will give up that laser, that ball that would be a knock, no doubt about it, and then all of a sudden you've got Colton Wong sitting right there.
Yeah.
And fields it. We've already seen it a couple of times in the last, game and a half. The shift has been effective. Colton Wong not hanging out in short right field for fun. It's because the tendencies are there. Ball gets hit there a ton. Hopefully right now on the ground.
And the 1-2 pitch to Shaw.
Tell you what, I really like John Gant. I love the stuff. I love the fact that he's so versatile in the roles. We saw him last year fill a huge spot in the rotation. He was great. You can go to him in a tight game like this. You can go to him if you need to get some innings out of him. It's great to have a guy like that in your bullpen.
Do you think it was a matter of just being with the innings a little bit quicker, more efficient as a starter, maybe? He had some long innings.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that a lot of times as a starter, too, you're trying to use the whole arsenal. You're trying to show him a little bit of everything.
Man, is he versatile.
He is. He really is.
It's part of the Jaime Garcia deal, and Jaime officially retired. And the 1-2.
Jaime Garcia turned himself in a pretty darn good career as well, didn't he?
Sure did. Two and two the count. Now that foul ball, now that's going to hurt.
Yes. You see, the umpire tried to give him a second. Yachty said, you know what? I'm good. We got an inning to get out of right here. Fastball. I mean, that hits him right off the bicep. I'm telling you right now, that happens to me, we're calling the medics. Like, we're going to be here a while.
And then after the game, you've been there. You were his teammate. No big deal, right?
It's fine. I'd be complaining about that for a week.
That's in the dirt. Picked by Molina. So 3-2, and the runner will go, and that's good speed at first base. Yelich, and you can see Goldschmidt looking into the dugout. You have to say, okay, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to play it? And it's interesting because you have a left-handed bat. He gets in a better position to play behind, but yet if you can somehow, I mean, if you keep him close, you might keep him at third base. Trying to keep him close, now backs up. The 3-2. He got him. Nice work, John Gant. So he has back-to-back strikeouts. Two pretty darn good hitters, Braun and Shaw. Goldschmidt coming up. All right, Erica, thank you. And Taylor Williams is now the new pitcher. Chevy called to the pen. Right-hander that's been in their rotation at times and now in their bullpen for Milwaukee. And he'll get Goldschmidt, DeYoung, and Ozuna. Paul Goldschmidt, by the way, has seen 23 pitches tonight in his 3 at-bats, and he's 2 for 3. There are the numbers last year for Williams, and our BJC difference maker, the Cardinal first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. But 23 pitches and 3 at-bats tonight.
He has been fighting, fouling stuff off, taking pitches that are very close, knowing his strike zone really well. Though he punched out a few times yesterday, a couple of them looking on very questionable pitches. He seems to be in the zone so far tonight. Nice to see him get that first home run out of the way, crush the ball past Shaw at third, and then hit one on the screws to center.
Three infielders on the left side. Two balls and no strikes. And the next to Goldie. Big cut, 2-1. I would imagine you get that first home run. I don't care if you're Paul Goldschmidt, you've been around a long time, new team, relaxes you a little bit.
It's got to be.
Yep.
Got to be something to it.
3-1. DeYoung on deck. Then Ozuna. We're in the 6th inning here at Miller Park, tied up 4-4. Another tight ball game. Chopper foul.
Once again, these two teams 10 times they're going to be meeting in the first month. It's going to be awesome. I mean, these games are going to be great, and this one's going to be very interesting. It's handed over to the bullpens already. No Josh Hader available for the Brewers tonight through 2 innings yesterday. As I mentioned before, Jeffress is on the DL. Corey Knebel, word comes out today that he is going to have Tommy John. He'll miss the year. And Craig Counsell is going to figure out exactly how he wants to set up his bullpen, or how he's going to be able to. Who's going to emerge for Counsell? So they're talking it through. What are their options? Who do they have? Williams had 3 different stints with the club last year. Kind of that guy they just called upon up and down. Made his first opening day roster. Looking to stick this time.
3-2 the count. Making him work.
That was one of the keys looking at this one. Without Hader there, get to the bullpen, try to get there early.
How about his second? A long one, deep left. Goodbye. His second game as a Cardinal and his second home run. Cardinals go back on top. Goldschmidt has done it again.
I think this guy's going to be okay. I think he's going to fit in just fine. You see Drew Robinson pumped up. Cardinals are pumped up. Goldie is seeing the ball well, and you see this slider here. Stays back just enough, catches it out in front. Man, have a day.
And that's a base hit into center. Off the bat of Paul DeYoung.
Well, see a scary one right here, right back up the box. I can tell you this firsthand, that one looks like one white hot flash. All you just see is just your life.
Oof. It's scary.
It is scary.
And now Marcell Ozuna. Cardinals go back on top. Goldschmidt with another home run. And that pitch in the dirt. His 16th career multi-home run game. The second time he's done it against this Brewers club. .105.8 for Paul DeYoung, by the way. The exit velocity on that blistering single to center field. That's inside to Ozuna.
Well, it has been a long time since the Cardinals, Dan, have had a guy driving 100 runs for them. It's actually been since 2012. Matt Holliday. Matt Holliday is the last one to have done it. I mean, that's all that Goldschmidt has done in his career, averaging 100.
Could be 2. A flip, a turn, not in time. We'll get the lead man, DeYoung, and Ozuna safe at first. Aguilar in words with the first base umpire.
You see Ozuna breaks the bat, but he's running hard right here. He wants to make sure he doesn't get doubled up. Got to appreciate that. Keep something alive.
They lost that challenge with Kane at second base, so very close play at first, and now here's Molina, who has an RBI double and a walk. And a swing and a miss. You know Yachty well. That was your teammate. Sometimes when he would have a swing like this, did you think he was setting guys up?
I was thinking the exact same thing, because Albert used to do that sometimes
on purpose
too. Yeah, where it'd be like, oh, I'm going to show you this, so you throw me that again, and then all of a sudden,
boom.
Yahtzee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking.
So I'm not crazy.
No, I mean yes, but no,
Yes
not with
and
that.
no, right?
Yes, correct.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Cut his mic, guys. That's it.
It's been a good run.
It's been a heck of a run. Day and a half, well done in 2019 by you, Brad Thompson.
That's right.
By the way, that Goldschmidt guy, he can hit.
I think he's going to be okay.
He's going to be just fine. Good cut.
Just so exciting to see that, to have that guy in a lineup, which is already good. I mean, the Cardinals lineup was good without him. I think they could be great with him. And it makes everybody else better around him. When you have that guy in the lineup, man, it just provides length.
He's a 1-2. Softly to third. Out at second. Barely. And Molina is safe at first. So now 2 outs in this 5-4 game. And now a quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Emptied your digital wallet? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
There's Dexter Fowler. Came up with the bases loaded back in the fourth. Struck out to end that threat. Pair of walks in this ball game tonight. Strike one. Does beg the question. I mean, if Goldschmidt is a guy that is going to drive in a lot of runs. I know a lot of people talk about lineup construction.
Yep.
I thought you made a valid point, though. You get through that first time through the lineup, and you do have Wong and Bader at the bottom half.
There will be opportunities there.
Okay.
To your point, though, I think it has a chance to be a fluid situation. And I think that is
that's where I'm going. Yeah,
I think that's the nice thing, especially when you look at the Cardinals roster. You have a lot of pieces that can move around. I think that we know who our leadoff hitter is going to be. All right, Matt Carpenter is that guy. He's been great at it. But after that, I think you can mix and match a little bit. You just see where that flow comes from. But so far, so good with Goldie in the 2-hole.
Sometimes it doesn't matter then. You just kind of do it yourself, right? You just, sit out of the ballpark.
Nice and easy over the fence.
Ooh. Be fun to watch. 1-2 the count now on Dexter Fowler. Playing behind the runner at first base, Yadier Molina. Goldschmidt had the 2-run homer in the first, and now his home run here in the 6th. Strikeout of Fowler. Ball Goldschmidt. Second as a Cardinal. Redbirds back on top. Game of Thrones night returns to Busch Stadium on April 9th. Purchase of a special themed ticket. Fans will take home a Game of Thrones inspired Cardinals shirt. The official Iron Throne will be on hand for those who dare to take a seat. And get your Game of Thrones tickets at cardinals.com/theme. The second inning of work for John Gant. He was stretched out all the way to the end of spring training as a starter. So pitched yesterday and now his second inning of work tonight.
A couple of huge punch outs when he came in. Got Braun, got Shaw. And there are very few weak spots in this order. Gets another tough one here.
Aguilar, grounder. Carpenter, one away. Bottom of the 6th here in Milwaukee, Miller Park, game 2 of this opening 4-game series between the Brewers and the Cardinals in what should be a very, very competitive division. Maybe the best in all of baseball when you think about a revamped Cincinnati Reds.
Brewers surprise some people, the Reds.
Absolutely. The Brewers champions. Had to go to 163 games last year. The Cubs will be very good. Cardinals went out, got Miller and Goldschmidt.
Pirates are always competitive. Doesn't matter what they seem to do in the offseason. They're always right there. I think it's going to be. The East is going to be interesting as well. A couple of big pickups over there.
Cardinals will see the Mets early on at home. Mike Moustakas, 2 balls and no strikes. Double did in the right field corner back in the 4th and also popped out. The 2-0 pitch. 3-0.
Change up to get back in it. Talking about the Reds potentially surprising people. A little bit of a surprise for some that the Cardinals' first look at the Reds is going to be in Monterrey, Mexico in a couple of weeks.
And a 1-out walk. Reds gave up their home dates to have that happen, so we'll be in Monterrey, Mexico for those games against Cincinnati.
In your typical NL Central travel from Monterrey, Mexico to Milwaukee.
That's right. Here's Yasmani Grandal and takes the ball low. Grandal with a sac fly and an RBI back in the 4th and also struck out looking. Seeing that with 5 straight balls, now the Cardinals with activity in the bullpen. I would think this might be Alex Reyes time. We'll see. It's sharply to Goldschmidt. The throw there, back to him. Gant the stretch and the out. It's a double play. Started by Goldschmidt. The turn at second. The stretch by Gant. And the Cardinals get an inning-ending double play. Sends us to the 7th, and it's 5-4. Well, the Cardinals will have Kolten Wong lead things off as we move to inning number 7. It's the Gateway Honda Dealers home run inning. $1,000 will be donated to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri if a Cardinals player hits a home run. And we had a winner in the first game of the season, thanks to Kolten Wong yesterday. 5-4 the score, top of the 7th, and Wong leads it off for St. Louis. And our Chevy called to the pen as the Brewers yet again go back to their bullpen.
Yeah, Jacob Barnes appeared in 49 games for the Brewers last year, picked up a couple of saves. His name was kind of kicked around when they were talking about, you know, who might get the 9th inning at times. Finds himself in the game a bit earlier. Kolten Wong seen him a couple of times, 3 for 6 against him in his career.
By the way, on that double play, I misspoke. That was Goldschmidt on the stretch of the return throw. So nice job by Goldschmidt to start the double play and then the return throw and the stretch at first.
It was really impressive how he got back as quickly as he did. Then the throw up the line a bit, able to pick it. There's a reason. Got a couple gold gloves to his name.
Wong tonight struck out, popped out, and also walked. Not only the home runs, but also you get Gold Glove play as well.
It's a great play right there. Makes the throw, has to clear the runner to the inside part of the bag.
Complete package.
Yeah. That's the thing, like defensively, I think that people at this point kind of know what he is. 3-time Gold Glove winner. You see the fielding percentage there. Never made more than 7 errors in a season. It's incredible. We've seen the bat, seen it today, a couple of home runs. Great base runner though, smart, always working, always thinking. That's what makes the great ones great, is the little extra things, and Paul Goldschmidt has got those.
It's a ball and 2 strikes as Wong fouls it back. This is no disrespect to others that played the position last year, and the Cardinals were poor defensively last year, but he's going to make other players on the infield better.
Well, that play is a perfect example.
Exactly. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure other players last year make that play at first base.
Well, first base for him is home. I think the last couple of years, I mean, Martinez tried, and you saw him every single day. He was working over there.
Up the middle, base hit, Kolten Wong.
Been a very nice start to the season for Kolten Wong so far, but Jose Martinez worked like crazy to get better and better over at first base. So it wasn't for lack of effort, it just wasn't his spot. Matt Carpenter did an admirable job over there, but Paul Goldschmidt is just comfortable there. It's what he's done. It's what he's great at. It's what he continues to work at. And then the rest of your infield gets way better because that guy's over there.
Here's Bader over 3. Couple of strikeouts and a line out. Jose Martinez at the on-deck circle. Good rip. TD Ameritrades, the right call. Ranked in the top 5 among National League rookies in home runs, runs, doubles, multi-hit games, total bases, extra base hits. Harrison Bader a year ago. He finished in the top 7 in the National League Rookie of the Year ballot, along with Jack Flaherty.
You couple in the defense, you got yourself a really good player. Still a lot of room to grow for Harrison Bader. He's got a very high ceiling.
Can do some things here for Mike Shildt with Wong's speed, Bader at the plate. This is where you can have a little fun at that bottom of the Cardinal lineup with this combination, and especially with a hitter, not a pitcher on deck, in Jose Martinez.
Jacob Barnes thinking the same thing, and that's one thing that Mike Shildt has talked about. We saw it last year when he took over. He's not afraid to get the wheels turning a little bit. Got a tight ball game. You get that runner to second base, changes a lot of things for you.
And a check on Wong again. Alex Reyes continues to throw, and with Martinez on deck, get ready for Alex Reyes.
I'm looking forward to seeing the show.
Bader, fly ball, left center, right off the end of the bat. Tagging up Wong, good base running from first to second.
Yeah, I don't think Harrison Bader ended up missing this one by much. Gets it there in the gap. Kane able to track it down. See him just off the end a little bit right here, but this thing is traveling out. Kolten Wong does a good job getting back, knowing he has plenty of room. He sees it up. He sees it's going to be deep. Smart base running. That's something that at times last year the Cardinals didn't have enough of. There were too many mistakes on the base pass. We spent a lot of time talking about the defensive mistakes. 133 errors paced the league last year by a fairly wide margin. But there were a lot of things left to be desired as far as base running go. And I know for Mike Shildt and his entire staff, those were things that they really wanted to focus on this spring, was cleaning those up.
Another aspect of Paul Goldschmidt that Mike talked about a lot. Many conversations in the offseason revolving around base running. Jose Martinez nearly tied it up. And the final out, game number 1. And here it was yesterday. And then Lorenzo Cain with this terrific catch.
It was all right. Fine, it was great. It was great. The amazing part to me is that Cain was ready for that. He was ready to make that play. Remember, Hader was blowing through everybody.
Yeah.
It would be very easy to be out there in the outfield eating sunflower seeds, just hang out waiting for him to punch out the next guy. He was ready. He was on his horse. It is kind of amazing that he hasn't won that Gold Glove yet. Ender Inciarte ended up getting it last year. He was a finalist.
He hasn't won a Gold Glove yet.
No, it's coming. Probably. I do believe that the Cardinals center fielder Harrison Bader is going to be in those conversations going forward as well.
Here's a 1-1. I was talking with Mike Shield after the game yesterday, and the subject was this guy right here. And we both said at the same time, man, can Jose Martinez just wake up out of bed and he's just ready to hit? You know, Josh Hader, no one can square him up. No one can touch this guy. And Jose Martinez comes up and almost puts one over the fence.
By the way, it was a good pitch.
Yeah.
It was a fastball, I think 97 mile an hour on the outer corner. Just barrels it up that way and darn near gets it out of here.
And he does it off the bench. He's one of the best pinch hitters in baseball. 352 the average last season off the bench.
I don't think people
Tough
understand.
to do.
Yeah, I don't think anybody understands how hard that job is. To wait the entire game for an at-bat. And by the way, that at-bat is going to come against some of the toughest relievers in the game, late in the game. The preparation, the mental toughness to do that job, as you see the numbers, they're unbelievable. That is difficult and so valuable to have on a ball club.
In the hole here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wong at second base. Fights it off, foul back. Yeah, you're getting the specialists. You're getting the guys with the split fingers and the 97s and the 98s.
Hang with them.
The closers.
Well, and that's why if you have a guy like that, you try to keep him around. You know, and the Cardinals end up extending Jose Martinez, give him a 2-year deal.
I was really glad they did.
Me too, man. And you see how his teammates respond to him, like just the individual. He means a lot to that clubhouse. Certainly means a lot in situations like this where you can go to him.
And the 1-2 again. I was in the clubhouse for a good 20-25 minutes today, and some of the guys were playing cards. Some guys were, looking at scouting reports, looking at video as they have it on their iPads, and then there's this guy, good old Jose Martinez, and he's
bouncing
bopping around and talking hey, whoa, hey, going from one group to the next and high-fiving everybody and talking.
I got to get some of his coffee.
Well, you got plenty, so don't.
What do you mean?
Or his new coffee.
His new coffee. Were you saying in general, do you say I over-caffeinate? Is that what you're kind of saying?
I was going down that road.
I don't think you should. I think
but if you're going to drink some coffee, get the new Jose Martinez coffee.
I can't wait to try it. I asked him the other day. I had a cup of coffee. I was like, hey, is your coffee better than this, whatever brand it was? He said, oh, yeah. All right, I'm going to get some.
He's worked it full, the 3-2. He struck out. They've chased the ball out of the zone, and we'll see here.
Well,
he certainly did.
He did for sure, but this thing had nasty break on it. Barnes throws hard, too. We've seen him up there 95, 96. He's able to locate it down in the zone and look like his heater coming off of it. That's why you got that swing.
Well, we talked about it, remember, when the lefty was in, out of the bullpen, which was Claudio earlier in the game. And here is that time when you'd like to have a lefty in. Now first base open, but then you have Goldschmidt on deck, who's had 2 home runs. So you got to go to Carpenter here.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of a scenario to try to flip it over to the Cardinals side. You know, the Cardinals have 1 lefty, and they have a lot of guys that they're going to have to trust to get lefties out. Mike Schill talked about that when constructing his bullpen. He feels really good about the group that he has. That's the fun part in these ball games, and that's why one of the reasons I kind of hate the rule that's coming next year of a pitcher must face a minimum of 3 batters. I like the in and out. I like the cat and mouse.
And Carpenter, base hit into center. Colton Wong will score. Well, that's the scenario I talked about back in the 5th. You use that lefty, then what happens later in the game in the 7th if you need a lefty to face Carpenter? They needed him there. They didn't have him, and they got burned.
You see the pitch here, fastball just middle. You see the shift, drastic, and just outside of the reach. That's a big run right there.
And with that, it is hit number 1,000 for Matt Carpenter.
It's pretty good. He is a great hitter. Big time milestone right there. A lot more hits left in that man.
And now Goldschmidt. 2 home runs tonight.
I'd like to see a hat trick. I don't know about you.
You bet. 2-run homer back in the 1st. A single in the 2nd. And a home run in the 6th. Pretty good numbers in this ballpark.
I think he sees the ball well here. Or something. Or he's just a great hitter. Got great numbers against the NL Central as a whole.
The on-base percentage, this ballpark, around 500. He's got great numbers, by the way, at Wrigley Field.
I've heard they might play there a few times this year.
Yep. The 2-2 pitch coming to Paul Goldschmidt. It's a long at bat back in the 1st inning. First home run as a St. Louis Cardinal. And then a no-doubter in the 6th. And now here we are in the 7th. His only career 3 home run game at Wrigley Field back in 2017. And again, the 2-2. Goldschmidt, high drive, out to left. You bet he's done it! He's done it! 3 home runs! Goldschmidt, 3 home run night! 3! Count him up in his 2nd game as a Cardinal. 3 home runs. Goldschmidt.
Well, we wanted to see the hat trick, and there it is. You see the big smile on Paul Goldschmidt, smile on all the Cardinals in the dugout, and I got a feeling everybody watching this at home, a lot of smiles for you guys too. My goodness.
Behalf of Paul Goldschmidt, the Gateway Honda dealers donating $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri.
Well, here it is. Number 3 gets one up, out, over. He knows it right off the bat.
DeYoung racing up the line, and the pick by Aguilar. The trade that brought him to St. Louis. We said earlier, you're going to love him. This is why. Count them up. 3 of them in his second game wearing the birds on the bat. And now from the 3 home runs to the #1 prospect of the Cardinals in the timeline of this young man, Alex Reyes. It'll come into this ball game. Orlando Arcia, the first batter, and a fly ball out to left, and there's one away. And it's our Chevy call to the pen, and it's Alex Reyes. Everybody, and I mean everybody, is pulling for this young man.
Oh, for sure. And you knew in spring training the first thing was going to be to see how he looks. Is he healthy? Can he bounce back? What is his role going to be? As you see, 99 on the gun right there. He's looking healthy. And Mike Schilt, in his words, giddy watching him pitch in spring, snapping off breaking balls, throwing 96 to 99 miles an hour. And he is going to be a big time weapon in this bullpen.
It was here in Milwaukee a year ago. Returned from injury. Came to a screeching halt. Pulled from a game, diagnosed then with a tear. And again, then it was season cut short.
You've been around this game a long time, and you've been around guys that have had injuries, and you know how mentally crushing it can be. He's had to deal with a couple of them in a row. And yet he kept battling. By the way, 91-mile-an-hour changeup. That was my best bolt. But it's amazing when you have to go through a road like that, how much you appreciate it.
Backhanded by Wong. It's Gamel for out number 2. And now a quick word from TD Ameritrade.
Will the TD Ameritrade trade desk gut check my trade strategy? Should I shave my beard? That's what I thought.
Franzen Kane was at spring training many years ago, and I was with some in the front office, and they said, you got to meet this guy. First arrived on the scene, they said, get to know him right now. His name is Alex Reyes. Because you're going to get to know him in the big leagues.
Yeah. You're going to be talking about him quite a bit.
Yep. Very, very nice young man, and everybody's pulling for him.
I think that's another great point. I mean, people oftentimes don't get a chance to see behind the scenes, but a lot of times when you get the opportunity to meet some of these guys the first time, you might think, oh, he's a top prospect. He probably is incredibly full of himself, thinks he's got it all figured out. That's not the case with this kid.
Nope.
Just down to earth. We know what he's been through the last couple of years, and he's excited to get this opportunity.
Ground ball foul. And it's 2-2. Young daughter was ill for a while, and he was telling me the other day that she is healthy and doing great.
Fantastic.
Lined into center. Alex Reyes, welcome back. Reminder, here's where you can find Cardinals baseball tomorrow. The Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. And again, we are on Fox Sports Midwest Plus. And all you have to do is go to foxsportsmidwest.com and find the channel in your area. I don't know about you, but I would love to see a big inning. See Goldschmidt come up again.
I think I'd be just fine with that, Dan.
Thank you, Brad. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Al brings up one of the great nights in Cardinals history. Hard-hitting Mark Whitten had 4 home runs in one game against the Cincinnati Reds.
How do you get a strike after the 3rd home run? You haven't seen my fastball. Everybody thinks you can sneak cheese by the rat. Wasn't happening.
Ozuna would pop up down the right field line and out of play. Chase Anderson, new pitcher and a right-hander in. Chevy called to the pen.
Well, Chase Anderson finds himself in the bullpen, was in the running to be in that rotation, was starting throughout spring training. You see the 30 home runs, led the NL last year, giving up the long ball. It's amazing how quickly things can shift. It was just last year, Chase Anderson, opening day starter for the Brewers, now in the bullpen. They've got a bunch of young arms within that rotation that they really like.
Popped up again. Foul territory. Aguilar with the out. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Barnes Jewish Hospital and Washington University. Physicians, national leaders in medicine, and by Toyota. Let's go places. What a blast that was, and what a blast this is. Great Jack Buck on home run number 4. Off the bat of Mark Whitten in Cincinnati. Hard hit Mark Whitten. Here's Yachty. Strike 1.
Well, Goldschmidt with the 3 home runs today. I got a feeling that Paul Goldschmidt is going to have you working on your home run call quite a bit. By the way, very nice, that last one.
You just got to get a little excited. I don't know if I get a little excited, but I get a little excited.
Well, you felt every inch of this booth out.
Well,
that's a long cord you had running around.
Well, you grabbed me. I almost fell out of my chair, but
I'm here for you.
That happens. You just
excitement, man.
Get
it's real.
into it, you know. Take you back to the 5th inning and a key moment in this game. He picked that and then throws out Lorenzo Cain. And then remember, after that, it was a base hit. So Cain would have scored.
Would have changed the game drastically. I feel like we've gotten to the point with Yachty where we just take things for granted. Stuff like that doesn't happen. Being able to short pick, being able to make that perfect throw right on the bag against a guy like Cain who just runs. I mean, runs really well. Very good base stealer.
It's only been 16 years, so maybe you need to pick it up a bit.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think I'm just so used to seeing greatness. That stuff doesn't surprise you anymore, but it's amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch him behind the plate, how much he cares about it, how good he is, how much better he makes his pitchers.
So when Yachty would come out, and you know, you're a young guy, and now you would get a little fired up, by the way.
Yeah. Those anger issues, by the way, have subsided.
Okay, good.
Very
I just
happy
wasn't
now.
sure
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to tiptoe around the tulips here. What do you got?
Well, telling you at dinner last night. Well, we've told you over the last couple of years that we had many shots of you that
couldn't use all of them.
Right, that didn't make air, but we did have some of those frustrations our cameras would catch. And here's Fowler after the walk. And I'll just say you had a little temper, Brad.
Yeah.
So Yachty would come out and visit with you.
So
what were those conversations like?
That's one of the best things about Yachty is that he knows each individual. And it's not just each individual's arsenal and what pitch to call at what time, but it's also how to pump somebody up or how to calm somebody down or get somebody going. And I was always one of those guys that responded more to more of an aggressive tactic. So he would get in there a little bit, lock me back in.
There's a base hit into right for Dexter Fowler.
Speaking of locking in, it'd be nice to get him locked in. That was a good swing right there.
And Yachty going first to third.
Well, speed kills too.
Now you could say that.
I know. Dude, he's sneaky fast sometimes.
Now you go down there and you tell Yachty that tomorrow.
I will. He went first to third.
Okay.
Like a champ.
All right. Is he going to get in your face about that tomorrow?
Maybe. It actually might happen. It could be on the bus tonight.
Yeah.
It's just between us,
So he just knew how to deal with guys.
And he knew and knows just every one of his guys and what makes them tick. It's important.
Wong on the first pitch, shallow left, and the catch is made, and runners will stay put at the corners.
Yachty's one of the guys probably around the entire game of baseball that's had to adjust the most with the new rules as far as mound visits, because he would utilize them quite a bit, and he'd go out there at just any given time to, if he saw something or wanted to slow something down or wanted to talk to somebody. He's had to come up with different ways to do it, different ways to communicate. He still does a fantastic job with it.
Now Harrison Bader, and the ball gets away. Molina, he'll score.
That first to third came off pretty big right there for Yadier Molina. That ball kicks off. He gets a good jump. Keep building that cushion. You see the big curveball right here. Randall can't pick it. Probably should have blocked it.
And Fowler to second base makes it a 9-4 St. Louis lead. A ball and a strike on Cardinals center fielder. And a ground ball. Arcia will get the lead man. Yeah, the tag applied on Fowler. That's how the top of the 8th comes to a close. 9-4 Cardinals. Lou Fuse this day in history. March 29th, 2018. Jordan Hicks makes his big league debut in New York. Throwing gas, an inning, 1 hit, no runs, hit a strikeout. Welcome to the big leagues, Jordan Hicks. This time last year in New York. Lou Fuse Automotive Network celebrating the return of baseball with their 96-hour sale. They're giving away a car this weekend. Find out more at fuse.com. Fuse.com. Cardinal debut. Andrew Miller, one of the big signings for St. Louis. Got that good fastballs we saw in spring. It's hit 98 at one point. Huge, and I mean a huge slider in our Chevy. Called to the pen. 1 ball and 1 strike. We gotta love that. That's a good matchup right here. Miller against the MVP.
Hey, we're going to see this one a lot this year. This matchup, big spots, tight games, late. That's why you get them. That's why you pick them up. We've seen a lot out of the other big offseason acquisition and Paul Goldschmidt tonight.
Left center. And a home run hit by Christian Yelich. Two games and 2 home runs for Christian Yelich.
Well, Miller got strike 1, fastball down and away, nasty slider, strike 2, and then you see this fastball just leak back in, and Yelich crushes this thing. Similar to the pitch that Miles Michaelis threw to him, was trying to go away, ended up inside.
And now Ryan Braun. (9-5) ball game. Interesting thing you would notice with Andrew Miller, and we just didn't see him a lot with all this time in the American League, but right-handed batters with that slider, you saw him in spring training. The slider, now it winds up at the back foot. The right-handed batter
Eats him up.
Incredible, the movement that he would get. And it was,
well, the crazy thing is you get the big swings on it too. It ends up, he's got that type of slider that you swing and he hits you.
Braun sends it out to right. Fowler the catch. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated at the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Brad Thompson, Dan McLaughlin, Jim Hayes with you. Travis Shaw. Well, these are the matchups you think about for Miller in the Central. It's guys like Shaw and Yelich. Certainly in this lineup.
Rizzo, Schwarber.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys.
Polanco.
A lot of guys within this division that you're going to have to neutralize. Joey Votto.
By the way, Paul Goldschmidt is due up third for the Cardinals, looking ahead to the 9th inning, so he'll have a chance at a 4th home run in this game tonight. Due up third for the Cardinals.
The one out that he made today was smoked to center field.
And Miller hit Shaw. I think it may have gotten him on the right hand.
See this one, he's trying to go away and ends up just flying off arm side. You hope that Shaw's all right there. Those ones are always scary, that it hit around the hand area. We saw that with Paul DeYoung last year. Got hit in the hand, ended up taking one more AB. Thought he was going to be all right and was out for a little while. Hope that's not the case here. see it there, just right on the hand. Shaw staying in this game, going to first. You see it all black and blue already.
Nasty already. Jesus Aguilar. And ball one. 9-5 St. Louis.
Be a nice time for a little ground ball right here. A little 6-4-3.
And strike two. Out of play. In 2017 and 18, Miller faced nearly 130 left-handed batters in the regular season and allowed just one home run in the first that he sees this year. Home run.
Well, he got that one out of the way.
That's one way to look at it.
That's right. This also won't be the typical game you generally see him in. It'd probably be oftentimes a tighter ball game. There's 6, 4.
Just take it away. You want to do the whole rest of the game here, Brad, or what?
Yeah, go get a coffee.
But I got Goldie coming up. And he's looking for his 4th home run of the night. And what a night it's been. He's due up third. It's at Busch Stadium. That's coming up. You'll get that T-shirt, Cardinals.com/theme, and that's Friday, April 19th. And Brad, you'll fit right in.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I just think that you'll fit right in because.
Did you borrow my iPod without asking?
No, I think you have that look. You'll fit right in. You have that boyish look.
Okay.
Tyler
Look, I think
O'Neill.
it's going to be a great night.
Well, I think it's going to be a lot of fun on the 19th of April.
Be nice to see Tyler O'Neill go bye. You know what I mean?
Awful.
Yep.
O'Neill with a high drive. Did he get enough? Off the base of the wall. I mean, that's off the end of the bat, but you're talking about
It's crazy strength.
one of the strongest guys in the game right there, and it almost carried out of the ballpark.
Well, Tyler O'Neill, and we talked about this with Jose Martinez, these guys are going to be fighting for at-bats, and when they get opportunities, they're going to try to, run with it. That is way off the end of the bat. 88 slider away, and he's able to drive it that far. That's big-time power right there.
Here's Carpenter, and on deck, Paul Goldschmidt. If you just joined us, he has hit 3 home runs in his second game as a Cardinal. 3 home runs tonight. Looking for number 4, and he's on deck. And now it's Carpenter. Up and in. O'Neill, your runner at second base. 9-5 our score. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 2.
I think that Chase Anderson could end up being a guy. He's got that really good arsenal. We've seen a good breaking ball out of him. Nice change up there. Good velocity. That bullpen, you know, without Jeffress, without Knable, he might find himself in some bigger roles.
And the 1-2 pitch now to Carpenter. Struck him out. And so here we go. Take a look at our Budweiser plays of the game. And undoubtedly, it's Paul Goldschmidt. 3 home runs that he's hit tonight. That is first as a Cardinal. There's number 2. An absolute no doubter. And then number 3. And they're going to intentionally walk Goldschmidt here. The Brewers up by 4 and an intentional walk in a 9-5 game, and Goldschmidt will miss his opportunity at a 4 home run night.
Guess they're just going to have to hit around, get it back to him. I get it. I get it. You're trying to get a ground ball, get out of this thing. I hate it, but I get it.
So game number 2 of the regular season, and Goldschmidt is walked, with the Cardinals leading by 4. And so Paul will enjoy his second ever 3 home run game. It's pulled foul. And even I think some of the hometown fans, some of the Brewer fans say, come on. Here's some of the boos, and now some of the fans are heading for the exits. They wanted to see history. Remember, Sean Green had a 4 home run game at this ballpark when he was with the Dodgers. As DeYoung swings and misses. And 20 instances, Cardinals history, did hit 3 or more home runs in a game. 16 instances by a first baseman, according to the great Chris Tuno of our media relations department. We appreciate Chris passing that along to us. And now it's Marcell Ozuna. Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're up by 5 or 6, it's still a 4-run game. Grand slam, you could tie it. 5 or 6, maybe different.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their lineup too, and we've seen it already in the last couple of games. I mean, they can punch in bunches. You get a couple of singles, all of a sudden you hit a long ball. It's a different ball game. I hate it because I wanted to see something special again. I wanted to see you run around, feel every inch of this booth on your 4th home run call for Paul Goldschmidt today.
I'm in.
I know you are. Apparently not everybody wants to have as much fun as us. I would like to see this guy get in on the action, though. Drive a baseball here.
You know, we could start to see it at the end of spring training that Goldschmidt was taking better at bats. Actually asked to be kept in a lineup at the end of spring because he was feeling better.
Yep.
And I go back to his first at bat tonight when he saw all those pitches, and we made the comment then to see it. You know, he was yanking some pitches with authority, put one in the upper deck foul, but it was, the timing was getting close as Ozuna pops it up back and foul. Carson Kelly, Luke Weaver, Paul Goldschmidt coming to St. Louis, and then signs a 5-year extension. And what you would have to believe would allow him to finish his career as a St. Louis Cardinal. We'll see how it all plays out as Ozuna again pops it up.
Yeah, I know it's early still. Is it too early to say that that's a good deal?
I'd say it's a little early.
Well, I'm excited for Carson Kelly gets the opportunity there. Luke Weaver's in the rotation. And the Cardinals were fortunate enough that they were able to deal from an area of strength. They had a lot of starting pitching. You've got Andrew Kisner in the minor leagues, who we got to see a lot of in spring training, that the organization really likes, and made it a little bit easier to part ways with a guy like Carson Kelly. And you get Paul Goldschmidt. You're still mad about that walk, aren't you?
Wanted to see it.
I know.
Fastball, and he struck him out. So Goldschmidt, the 3 home runs, base hit, the walk, and a bunch of bases. One, two, and number 3. Historic night for Paul Goldschmidt in just his 2nd game as a Cardinal. 3 home runs. Welcome to St. Louis.
It's been a nice welcome thus far. Can't wait for the welcome next Thursday.
I was just about to say, wait till Thursday.
Cardinals home opener. It's great all the time. All the applause are always great, but he is going to get a special one.
Now Mike Moustakas, season debut. Jordan Hicks, 99 with a little sink.
Yeah, it took a little off.
Just a little on.
I don't understand. I'm not a physics major. I don't know if you knew that. I'm not a physics major. I just don't understand, though, how you can throw a ball 98 to 105 miles an hour and it drops off the table. And, oh, by the way, I can go ahead and flick that in for a strike.
The amazing thing in spring training, for those that did not see, and there's the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Jordan Hicks. His slider was even better.
Yep.
He was working on a changeup, and there's the slider, and that's strike 2. Hicks was throwing consistently at 100 to 101, got it up to 103 down in Florida. And they feel that at times mechanics were more compact, and that's something that he worked on in the offseason down in Texas with Mike Maddox. So, and there's really a fine line, I would say, Brad, with that. You know, how do you improve on a guy and be careful with somebody that is throwing, and that's held on to by Molina, 105 miles an hour, to say that, oh, by the way, it can get a little better.
Well, and I think the biggest thing is you always try to focus on consistency. You see that hard slider right there, 89 mile an hour. It is being able to repeat over and over again. And we saw a couple of times last year where Hicks would get out of his mechanics and then his arm would try to catch up. He'd miss a lot arm side and wasn't able to repeat his delivery, especially with the breaking ball. But his timing looked a lot better. It looks great right now. As you see 100 just free and easy. And the way we've seen this bullpen set up today, we saw Gant come in, do a fantastic job. Alex Reyes make his debut, season debut. Then we saw Andrew Miller And now Hicks. I think we've got a chance to see that order quite a bit as far as Reyes, Miller, Hicks.
You mentioned the Cardinals have not had a player since 2012 drive in 100. Paul Goldschmidt, at least initially, and I know it's only game 2 and there's a second strikeout for Hicks. And a reminder, Cardinals Magazine is there for you, the preeminent magazine that defines baseball from today and yesterday. 345-9000 Cardinals.com/publications. Jack Flaherty's on the cover, but that guy right there, and he did this in spring training too. And there was Holiday, and there's been times where players made you stop and watch. Hicks is one of those guys that makes you stop and watch. Look at that movement on that pitch. But Goldschmidt's the kind of guy, since Pujols, that makes you stop and watch.
Yeah, and this is no disrespect to anybody else. The ball club is good. It's a legitimate superstar that you're putting in there. You look at the overall numbers that he's had in his career.
Center field. Bader's there, and the Cardinals have their first win of 2019.
Well, Goldie, have a day. My goodness, 3 home runs. Cardinals' first victory. I like it, Dan.
What a night. 3 home runs in his second game as a St. Louis Cardinal. As I said during the first one, folks, you're going to love him. Paul Goldschmidt, have a night. 9-5 St. Louis. Post-game show comes your way next.